These Gahanna Lincoln Lions are a different breed of cat. Many think they're the best team in Central Ohio, maybe the best team in the state of Ohio. New Albany's Eagles come to this homecoming matchup, though, with some momentum. They won their OCC opener last week over a pretty good Grove City football team. We welcome you to Friday Night Rivals. It's homecoming here at New Albany as the Eagles have their hands full tonight with the fourth-ranked Gahanna Lincoln Lions. Along with Jeff Logan, I'm Marty Bannister. We will hear from Kellyanne Stitz coming up here in a few moments. Jeff, I mentioned Gahanna is a very good football team. New Albany does indeed have their hands full.
Yeah, they are terrific. We call this Friday Night Rivals for a reason. These two districts butt up right against one another. This is a big night for them. New Albany comes into this game with a 2-4 record, but they have been in every game this season, and they had a big come-from-behind win against Grove City a week ago. Gahanna, on the other hand, last year's regional champs, they understand if you lose, it means something. Coach Bruce Ward's Lions have a den full of talent, and they've got an emerging star coming up on the defensive side of the football in defensive back Terrell Holcomb. Yeah, what a body this man has. 6'3", 200 pounds, and he is the leader on a defense. Believe it or not, 42 tackles for a loss this season. If he plays big, it equals a victory. For Brian Finn's New Albany Eagles to claw out a victory tonight, a lot will rely on the play of a senior quarterback who was a wide receiver last year and now is their starting quarterback, Jeff, and that's Braylon Nash. Yeah, it gives you some idea how unselfish this young man is to switch from that wide receiver, go where he's needed. He is the conductor of the orchestra here, which is called the New Albany Wing T offense. We will see what kind of tune they can crank out tonight. They're going to need it. They've got their hands full, do the Eagles, but it's homecoming, so you never can tell what will happen on one of these games. It's fourth-ranked Gahanna. It's New Albany. It's the Toyota Friday Night Rivals. The kick is coming up next. I will be here. Yeah, Ward said that they're with Hubbard this year, they're able to spread the wealth around. He's got 689 yards rushing. As a team, they've got like 800.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
It means the sun's keeping it every now and then.
Yeah. Spread the wealth around. What are you talking about, dude? I liked what he said, though, about that kid understanding that he doesn't have to do everything, because last year he got – and you could see that. There were a couple of games.
He got beat up.
Well, that too, but you could see he was like, give me the ball.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Dude, you ran for 2,300 yards last year. What the heck do you want?
More.
Yeah. Hey, Jay, angle that a little more this way. Thank you. At this height, it's going to be... I was told there would be no math. It is 6-0 Gahanna. It is 2-4 New Albany this evening. The captains meeting at the midfield stripe for the coin toss, which is brought to you by Hilliard Lawn and Garden, the proud sponsor of tonight's coin toss. Gahanna rolling along right now. The Lions are 6-0 on the season, ranked number 4 in the state, and Gahanna has won the toss for tonight's game. And the high-powered Gahanna offense, which in each of its last 3 games has scored exactly 49 points, gets set to take on the New Albany Eagles. Tonight's kickoff is sponsored by MakeItMakeSense.org. Scan the QR code on the screen to get youths and adults the help they need to quit smoking and vaping. Gahanna has put teams away quickly in these last 3 games. They have outscored their opponents to the tune of 112-7 in their last 3 outings, so they pretty much run away and hide early in the games, and I think Jeff Logan has one of the reasons why Bruce Ward wanted the football.
Absolutely. He would love to have that high-powered offense with the ball. The start of the season wasn't as dramatic for this football team, still trying to find their way around, and they played a pretty tough schedule at the beginning of the season. This should be a great matchup, though, tonight.
Back deep, Amir Simmons to the far side of the field to receive the opening kick as New Albany's Logan Clapier gets set to kick the football away. He's a very good kicker. They utilize him a great deal here for this football team of Brian Finn. And here's the opening kick, and this will be Simmons, far side for Gahanna on the return. He's out across the 20, is grabbed and thrown down quickly, and Gahanna will start first down and 10 at their own 20-yard line. For the first time tonight, let's say hello to Kelly Enstead.
Guys, Brian Finn and the Eagles are well aware of the task at hand, trying to take down Goliath. Gahanna Lincoln, one of the best teams in Central Ohio, if not the state. But the Eagles' 2-4 record is a bit deceiving. They've been close in games, and they know keeping it close, limiting penalties and playing physical will be important tonight if they want to pull off this upset. And by the way, the 2 times that these 2 teams met last year, it was 25 degrees at kickoff. Much better weather this time around, guys.
Absolutely. That regional championship game at historic Crew Stadium. There you see the junior quarterback, the son of head coach Bruce Ward, Brennan Ward. And right away, it's Dior Hubbard with the football. The West Virginia commit is on the go. Out across the 35, and he races into Albany territory down the far sideline, and Gahanna's going to take a 6-0 lead as Dior Hubbard goes 80 yards on the first play from scrimmage. Gahanna Lincoln strikes first with a cannon shot. Dior Hubbard all the way for the score, and that touchdown brought to you by Ramos Roofing. For a free estimate on your roof, call or text 614-761-ROOF. Well, that's a way to start a game, Jeff.
Any questions? Holy cow. This is a read option right up the middle. Great job by the offensive line, but look at the power of Dior Hubbard running over the first tackler, and he's also got the speed to go with it. The West Virginia Mountaineers have got a good one coming. The senior running back goes the distance.
Gahanna will play for 2 now. Lions strike first and quickly, and now instead of the look of playing for 2, they will now go into the extra point as Brendan Ward will hold. And Madden Vida will try the extra point. It's partially blocked, and that's the first miss this year for Vida. He was 20 for 20 coming in, and that one is partially blocked. So a bit of a break there for New Albany. And when you start talking about momentum and things like that, when you give up an 80-yard touchdown run on the game's first play from scrimmage, sometimes, Jeff, something like this can help you.
Yeah, not a good snap here going back, and you can see the pressure coming right in. You just kind of take these plays for granted sometimes, and that's why they work so hard on special teams. And, Marty, as you mentioned, first missed extra point for this football team. But Dior Hubbard is a terrific running back coming into tonight's game, averaging 8.4 yards per try at his 12th rushing touchdown. And, Marty, with that 80 yards, he's going to be very close for his 4th 100-yard rushing game tonight.
He went for 182 in their win over Pick Central a couple of weeks back, had 180 in their victory over Olentangy Liberty, and in the season opener against the Mason Comets, he went for 151 in 19 carries of the football. Your scoring summary brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of Franklin County. One play, 80 yards, so don't blink. That's how fast Gahanna got down the field, and Dior Hubbard with the 80-yard touchdown run. And Max Haliba to kick the football away for the Lions. And New Albany will get its first touch of the football. And a good return out across the 25-yard line for New Albany is returning the kick for the Lions. That time was Abu Kibi. And the New Albany offense will come onto the field. Down 6-0 before they touch the football. There you see Braylon Nash, the senior quarterback. A couple of touchdown passes this year, 1 pick. Was a wide receiver last year. New Albany lost a lot on the offensive side of the ball, but this young man has stepped up. And Jeff Logan, you talked about him in the open, how easily he has adapted to this quarterback position.
Very unselfish and a true leader on this football team.
First play from scrimmage is a handoff inside. And Will Ola, the junior, who has run for 170 yards on the season, gets the first touch tonight. There you see the New Albany offense. The starting lineup is brought to you by the University of Toledo. Cole Von Canel, the tight end, is a guy that has really started to play well for this offense. He does certainly much more than receiving, a blocker as well, too. And Braylon Nash, the senior quarterback, guiding this offense. Very much a run-oriented football team, New Albany. In fact, you look at their games this year, Jeff, the 2 games that they've won, they have ran for over 200 yards as a team. A lot of motion as they come set. Nash will hand off, first touch for Joseph Owosu-Ansa, and he has the edge and gets a New Albany first down as he turns the corner far side. So the Eagles on this opening drive of the game get their first down of the night, brought to you by Buckeye State Bank. Buckeye State Bank, together we win. There's that Gahanna defense we talked about. We mentioned Terrell Holcomb, but keep an eye on 31, number 31. That's Elijah King. He's headed to play at Rutgers, one of a number of Division I commits on this Gahanna team. Only returning starter on that side of the football team.
That's really hard to believe that you could have a regional champion last year and lose everybody with the exception of Elijah King and be able to come back and still be 6-0 on this season so far.
First down and 10 for New Albany. We're just underway tonight. The Lions struck quickly on the Hubbard 80-yard touchdown run. Nice little flare pass to the near side and a catch, and a nice gain from the line of scrimmage, which for New Albany, they had the football at the 38-yard line.
What a great decision by Joseph Owusu-Ansa out on the perimeter there, not blocking in the back right there. That would have negated a really good opening play there. And they don't throw it very often, Marty, but when they do, they are very efficient in the passing game. Braylon Nash completing 51% of his passes coming into tonight's game.
A couple of touchdowns and an interception. Handoff inside, and this is Owosu-Ansa again on the carry, out near the first down marker, and might have just got ahead of the first down marker. And that was one of the things that Brian Finn talked about, Jeff. They have to do these type of things. They have to stay ahead of the chains. They can't go 3 and out. The margin of error is so small, as we've already seen in this game, with the ability of Gahanna to strike quickly.
Yeah, I don't think this surprises anybody on the New Albany side, but this is what New Albany does best. I talked about conducting that orchestra out there. Braylon Nash with that wing tee. Everybody could fit in a phone booth down there, but they effectively run the ball.
Here is Will Ola getting the call and gets into Gahanna territory from the 49-yard line, steps across to the 48. When we were talking last week to Jeremy McKinney, the head coach of Bloom Carroll, he was talking about the wing tee offense, and he used the term, all these wing tee guys have that secret handshake.
Well, it was born here a number of years ago, and they've been through a lot of coaches over the time, but the one thing they can't get rid of is the wing tee.
Is the wing tee. Second down call upcoming, 2nd and 7 for New Albany. They race to the line of scrimmage and come set. They go out of the shotgun formation, and the handoff goes to Owosu-Ansa trying to sweep to the edge, and it's run out of bounds close to another New Albany first down. Line of scrimmage again was the Gahanna 48, and Owosu-Ansa, who coming into the game had rushed for 489 yards, brings them a yard shy to the Gahanna 43.
Watch the pressure right up the middle. They had an opportunity to be able to make that a loss, but a bad angle taken by the linebacker, and it creates a perfect situation for New Albany on 3rd and about 2.
The center, Elijah Loudon, leads him to the line of scrimmage. He was on the defensive line last year. They'll hand off to Ansa, and he got right to the line to gain. The New Albany offense already signaling it is a first down.
That's our boy
it
Terrell.
Is a first down, yeah.
Yeah, Terrell Holcomb coming up and making the play. 6'3", 205, and a junior. Reminds me a little bit of Sonny Styles, the Ohio State monster that played at Pickerington Central. Look at the technique there, fundamentally sound in the way that he plays the game, and with that big body, he can make a mess of somebody's offense.
Pickup of 2, good enough for a Buckeye State Bank first down. Buckeye State Bank, together, we win. And the Eagles on the move, doing it their way, eating up clock and running the football. This is Ola, the fullback, and he is shoved down after getting right back to the line of scrimmage. We talked about those rushing numbers for New Albany. The 2 games that they've won this year, the 43-0 blanking over Walnut Ridge, and then last week the 25-24 escape over a very good Grove City team. That's 4-2 on the season after the game last week. Each of those games, 200 or more yards on the ground. And, Jeff, you can see why they were able to win those games, because they did this in those games.
Exactly. And again, only one returning starter on this Gahanna defense. They are still growing as a unit.
Ashton Allen's into the game at the running back spot, and he gets his first touch of the night. Has some running room, 35-30, and is knocked down shy of the 30-yard line. Ashton Allen, a 5'9", 170-pound junior running back. Had just 81 yards on the season and 38 carries, and that was a nice gain right there. A 9-yard pickup, a yard shy of another New Albany first down.
Yeah, watch the blitz coming right up the middle. Looked like there might have been a hold there right at the line of scrimmage, and they certainly got away with it. But a great first down opportunity, or a second down run, brings up short yardage, third, and this again fits right into the wheelhouse of what New Albany's trying to do.
Good look right there as Braylon Nash surveys the line of scrimmage, and they will push ahead. And it is good enough for a first down for the Eagles as Nash kept the football and carries to the 30. And again, a first down for New Albany. And the Eagles chewing up clock here as we go under the 7-minute mark. 6:55 to go here, quarter number one. Gahanna had the ball quickly, but it was efficient. The 80-yard touchdown run by Hubbard, but New Albany answering with a very efficient drive here as well. Nash will put a man in motion, and we'll go back to throw, and being chased by Elijah King, who drops him in the backfield for a loss. Elijah King, the 6'6", 235-pound senior, 10 sacks coming into the season. Tack one more onto the total right there.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about those 42 tackles for a loss. Add another one right there. And a good job here of making sure that quarterback does not break outside the edge. That's what makes Elijah King special. Rutgers obviously excited about this young man coming to play in the Big Ten Conference.
Boy, Jeff, he got there in an absolute hurry, didn't he? Loss of 10 back to the 41-yard line. Handoff inside and very short running room. Again, as we had talked at the top of the broadcast, or as when New Albany got the football, I should say, staying ahead of the chain so big for Brian Finn's team. You can't have a lot of what you're facing now, third down and long situations. So third and 19 coming up here, Jeff.
There's the Brain Trust across the way, working on their plays. Now, the one thing that they will not do tonight is rush to get up to the line of scrimmage. They'll try and shorten this game as best they can. They're not playing keep away necessarily. They believe they can move the football, but they're in no hurry. They're going to let that play clock go all the way down, and there you see it, down to 9 seconds.
Nash will hand the football off, trying to sweep to the near side, and a decent game, but it's going to be way shy of the first down yards. That was Jackson Carter, the wingback, with his first touch of this game tonight. When you look at the keys to this game, certainly for Gahanna, well, with the Lions rolling right now, Jeff, a lot of attention on this football team, and for good reason.
Yeah, and they may very well be the best team in the state, but they're going to have to prove it the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
And for New Albany, it's pretty much what we've been saying already on this drive for the Eagles. They've got to keep this game close and make it a game in quarter number 4. On fourth down, they will quick kick, and Nash gets a very high end-over-end kick that takes a decent bounce, and that one checked up very nicely inside the 10-yard line. And Gahanna will start first down and 10 inside their own 10-yard line. 4:43 to go, quarter number 1. Gahanna's lead stands at 6-0. This is Toyota Friday Night Rivals. Six 0 is the lead for Gahanna as they touch the football for the second time here in quarter number 1. Homecoming here at New Albany High School, Veterans Stadium. Great to have you with us tonight for our Toyota Friday Night Rivals, week number 7 of the high school football season. There goes Dior Hubbard again. He went 80 yards the first time, is going to have a substantial chunk gain here as he shoved out of bounds out across the 30 to the 35-yard line. On first down and 10 from the 9, he goes for 26. He's already over 100 yards. There's the Gahanna offense, and it has been impressive so far. In the middle of that offensive line, Jeremy McDowell, he's a returning starter. Ben Morris, the right guard's a returning starter. And Toledo commit Jake Grimm is a returning starter. So you wonder why they're so effective running the football. Yes, Hubbard has a world of talent, but he's got some big guys in front of him, Jeff.
He really does. And all the great running backs will certainly recognize you got to have that O-line up there. But a good decision by quarterback Brennan Ward back there, reading that read option and determining whether or not he's going to hand the ball or keep it on the quarterback.
And it will be Hubbard again as we're checking it. That's Amir Simmons with the carry that time as he stutter steps his way out across the 40 to the 42, a gain of 7. So a second down call upcoming. Here's the New Albany defense, and this is a group that has played very well for the most part this season. As head coach Brian Finn said earlier in the week, it is probably the strength of our football team. The linebackers are very good, but Jeff, he's very high on his 4 defensive backs.
Absolutely, and the leading tackler on this football team is number 17, Clay Carr, who plays the free safety position.
Starting lineup brought to you by the University of Toledo. And Ward's back to throw, looking long downfield now, and this pass is caught at the 20-yard line, getting inside the 10 and brought down. It will be a first and goal upcoming for Gahanna as Jalen Scott makes his 27th catch of the season. The 5'11", 165-pound junior just ran right under that football, and a great throw by Brennan Ward.
Well, he's been the go-to guy, and Brennan Ward was on target on time on this post pattern right over the middle. 9 touchdowns coming into tonight's ball game. Obviously, he is the number 1 target that they were looking for all season long, and Jalen Scott had his way with the cornerback Tommy Roberts III.
52-yard pitch and catch sets up Gahanna with a first and goal at the New Albany 6. 3:39 to go in this first quarter, and the Lions are closing in on going up quickly, 2 scores. Hubbard off to the side of the quarterback, a little hop step move, goes airborne momentarily and is planted inside the 5 at the 4. Hubbard last year, all he did was run for 2,365 yards and 25 touchdowns for that high-powered Gahanna team, which got to the regional final last year before losing to Lakewood St. Edward.
Well, it does help when you play 12 or 13 games.
Well, sure.
Now, come on now.
Sure.
No, what a terrific year for Dior Hubbard.
Glass is always half full, Jeff. Hand off to Hubbard, trying to sweep to the outside. He has the edge and goes for the pylon, but does not get in. A good job by New Albany defensively as he tried to sweep to that far side and was shoved out of bounds. Great pursuit over there as New Albany able to get him out of bounds. They had to rotate a lot of guys over there in a hurry to get to the speedy Hubbard.
Good job of stretching the play out there, and you saw the big left tackle, Jake Grimm, out there leading the charge. Had a couple of maroon jerseys they were trying to go after there, but really good pursuit by the defense.
3rd and goal now. Hubbard off to the side of the quarterback, gets the handoff again. He's got his 2nd touchdown of the night as he dives in from 4 yards out. And Gahanna, the first 2 times they've had the football tonight, they have cashed it in for scores. And the Lions have increased their advantage to 12-0 here in this first quarter. Another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. We've got a New Albany player down here at the goal line as play is halted here. As at the 2:54 mark, Gahanna has scored twice, and Dior Hubbard has scored twice in this game. We weren't lying about Hubbard. He is the real deal, that young man, as we mentioned, headed towards West Virginia University to play football for the Mountaineers. There's no need to wait to get the score of your favorite high school football team. First Scores on Fox 28 are sponsored by Columbus State Community College and has you completely covered after the game tonight starting at 10 o'clock. A busy week number 7, and that's the place you need to go. Nowhere else to find the scores. First Scores, Fox 28. Busy week number 7 of this season. We say this every week. It's hard to believe it's week 2. It's hard to believe it's week 3. It's hard to believe it's week 7.
No kidding. You know, the score show you're just talking about there, we got done a little early last week, even though we were down at Bloom, because of the fact that the game went so fast. Got a chance to watch some of that on TV. They do a great job.
They do, absolutely. We have a shaken up New Albany player here as time has been called. They're going to get a look at that Gahanna Lions football team. We touched on it at the top of the broadcast tonight about how the general consensus is this may be the best team in Central Ohio, and there are some who will tell you it's the best team in the state of Ohio. They really, if you look at their games, they've only really been challenged one time this year. Well, two, let's be fair, 2 times. Their opener against Mason, they had to kick a fourth quarter field goal to win that one 10-5. And then in week 3, they took on an Olentangy Liberty team, and they trailed 28-19 going to the fourth quarter before scoring 27 points in quarter number 4 to rally and win. Other than that, they've been on cruise control.
A little surprised they're not going for 2 after missing the first extra point.
Extra point attempt here is up, and this one is airborne and good as Madden Vida increases the lead to 13-0. Gahanna and New Albany homecoming here tonight at Veterans Field in New Albany, but the visitors have the lead. Gahanna by 2 scores here early on.
Toyota Camry has been America's best-selling car for over 20 years.
Hey, everybody knows that. But here's something you may not know. It's now available with all-wheel drive.
To give you the confidence and peace of mind to handle any kind of road conditions.
And of course, Camry's assembled right here in the USA.
Now you can get 3.99 APR financing on an exciting new Camry, plus 2 years no-cost maintenance.
The more you know, the more you'll drive Toyota. Let's go places.
Gahanna's had the ball twice. Gahanna has scored twice. Beautiful night here on the northeast side of Columbus in the burgeoning suburb of New Albany. There's your scoring summary brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of Franklin County. 6 plays, 91 yards, 1 minute and 49 seconds for Gahanna to go up 13-0. Here's the kick, angling towards the far side. It will bound out of bounds, and New Albany will put their offense onto the field here at the 2:54 mark of quarter number 1. We would like to say thanks to our friends at Kroger Great Lakes Distribution Center. Because of their efforts, tonight's game is streaming live on ABC6 YouTube's channel, the ABC6 News app, and as well on the CWColumbus.com. Jeff Logan, people can watch and listen to you anywhere in the world because of those efforts.
Isn't that terrific?
It is. It's remarkable.
You think our Ryder Cup team is listening over there? So they're not going to be able to be playing much golf this weekend the way they got their rear end smoked by the Europeans.
How about that?
Holy cow. I woke up this morning, turned on the iPad to kind of get the score. I saw we were down 4-0 in foursomes and went, okay, that's enough of this. I think we're in big trouble.
And see, that's one of the times you can say we and not get into trouble. When it's a United States team playing, you can say we. Handoff for New Albany as they try to get something going offensively, and Owosu Ansah trying to get to the edge, but Gahanna will have none of that as Daniel Opoku, a 5'10", 180-pound junior cornerback, makes his 15th stop of the season with a good open field tackle.
Yeah, really good open field tackle here with great speed. Watch the technique here. Got him down, and a lot of support coming from the inside. Preston Penn there, the free safety, coming over for support as well.
Gain of 1 brings up a second down at 9. This Gahanna defense, we'll talk more about some of the stars they have on that side of the ball, but they've got a lot of talent over there. And a quick inside handoff that time, and absolutely nothing, as right in the middle was Damian Jones, the 5'8", 180-pound senior. Had 10 tackles in their big victory over Pickering and Central. That's a pretty good bloodline. His dad, DJ Jones, played at Brookhaven and then went on to play at Minnesota. He was on that Brookhaven team that won a state championship back in 2003. And let me tell you, that was a pretty darn good high school football team.
They were special. There's no question about it. And a little undersized to be playing that linebacker position, but you can see the motor on that young man, and he certainly comes from a good bloodline.
Trying to find some running room, angling towards the near side. The ball pops free, but luckily for New Albany, it sailed out of bounds, out of the grasp of the ball carrier that time, trying to come to the near side, Owosu Ansah, and they caught a little bit of a break right there as the ball sailed out of bounds. That brings up now another long situation, a 4th down, and New Albany will have to punt the football away.
Can't advance the ball forward on a fumble like that, so they bring it back to where the ball popped out loose.
Clapier on to kick it away, averaging 32 yards a kick this year, his 29th attempt of the season. And back deep for Gahanna, Alex Donovan to return the punt. Good kick right there, spiraling kick that Donovan will backpedal and field at the 24-yard line, and it's thrown down immediately. Great special teams coverage there for New Albany that time, leading the charge down the field for the Eagles to make that open field tackle. A nice job down there by Braden Pettinger. Let's head down to the sidelines and say hi to Kellyanne Stitz.
Hey guys, Gahanna's leading rusher Dior Hubbard, a 3-star running back, West Virginia commit. His coaches describe him as one of the hardest workers on the team and a leader, and he's a tone setter. A Mr. Football finalist last year. He has a target on his back and has had to learn how to adjust to defenses playing him this season. His coaches tell him, you're not going to get what you got last year. You're going to have to work 10 times harder on the field to maintain that big man on campus status this season. And hey, use those moves on the field, off the field to avoid distractions and stay locked in on your long-term goals. And we've just seen him shine in this one early tonight, guys.
Kellyanne, that's a good point. We'll get to it after Hubbard gets the football here, as he is stood up for one of the first times tonight and shoved down for a minimal gain. Line of scrimmage was the 23, and Hubbard got out to the 25. That was one of the things I asked Bruce Ward earlier in the week. Where has Hubbard gotten better from last year to this year? And he said patience. And he didn't mean patience as far as running the football. He meant in patience, understanding he's not going to get the football, Jeff, on every carry.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing to do when you are a terrific running back, knowing the opportunity is there for you to take it to the house on every play. You want as many chances as you possibly can, but you got to understand a lot goes into creating those offensive opportunities for you, and part of it is spreading the ball around.
Jaden Lewis checks into the game now at the running back spot as Brennan Ward goes back to throw and fires far side behind Hubbard, who had lined up wide that time. He has had some success catching the football this year, but that pass sails behind him.
Yeah, they went with double receivers to both sides in a stack. Makes it very difficult for the defense to be able to understand who's going to be running deep, who's going to be maybe pulling up. That time Dior Hubbard was the short guy in the route, I should say, and that ball not really on time or on target for where Brennan Ward wanted to throw the football. There you see his numbers on the season. Yet to score through the air, but 9 catches.
Ward again will go back to throw, fires over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Good coverage that time by New Albany as they were trying to get the football over the middle to Jaden White, a 5'10", 155-pound junior. Brennan Ward coming into the game, completing 75% of his throws. He does already have a long throw in this game for 52 yards, but that time New Albany with great coverage that time as back there defensively was Clay Carr, the free safety.
Yeah, I want you to understand how prolific this offense has been so far this season. They have only punted 9 times all season long. And this will be the first punt of the game for Gahanna.
Cole Grady and Abu Kibi are back deep for New Albany. Very high kick, but a very short kick that will bound at the New Albany 49 and then take a somewhat decent Gahanna roll and will wobble to a halt at the 45 with 27 seconds left here in quarter number 1. New Albany and Gahanna meeting here tonight. Homecoming here at New Albany. This is the 9th overall meeting between these two programs. We said rivalry when we opened the broadcast, and it is, I think, more of anything, it's coming. We'll tell you more about that as we go on through tonight's game. But these two communities, as you mentioned, Jeff, they border one another. The kids know one another, so the rivalry part of it kind of comes from that.
Absolutely. You know, the fast start by Gahanna in this football game may be the best or the worst thing that could happen to their team, and I'll explain that in a moment.
Nash hands off. Owosu Ansa trying to get to the corner and dives out near the midfield stripe to pick up a 5. As the clock winds down, 18 seconds, Jeff.
And Marty, what I mean by that is that when you have that quick start like that, that can put your offense in an overconfidence role and maybe not have to go through all the hard work to get you there. And the defense from that standpoint is expecting the offense just to take it and put those 49 points on the board like they've done the last 3 weeks. Hocus pocus done. But that's not necessarily the case. It can be the worst, can be the best, can be the worst.
Gahanna scores twice. They lead 13-0. Dior Hubbard with a couple of touchdown runs. The state's 4th-ranked team on homecoming at New Albany leads the home team Eagles by the Baker's dozen after 1 period of play. Damian Jones. That was a team that beat Whitehall. Yeah, that was a team that beat Whitehall, yeah. They were good. They were good. Back at New Albany homecoming with Jeff Logan and Kellyanne Stitz and the dulcet tones of our producer Dean Marini. I'm Marty Bannister. We are so glad you're with us here for Toyota Friday Night Rivals. It's week number 7, and we've got an OCC Ohio Division tilt going here tonight as these nearby OCC members, Gahanna and New Albany, tangle here tonight. And the 4th-ranked team in the state, the visitors from Gahanna, have jumped out to a 13-0 advantage as we play here in quarter number 2. We talked a little bit earlier about how this is I think it's fair to call this, Jeff, a growing rivalry between these two.
Absolutely, because both of these communities are growing like crazy. They border each other, we've talked about. Gahanna, one of the state's largest school districts with just one single high school, and we all know what's going on with Intel out this direction.
The growth will just continue here. New Albany football on a 3rd down. Owusu Ansah able to step ahead and pick up the first down. That's a Bowling Green State University first down for this New Albany offense. That's an interesting point you brought up, Jeff, about Gahanna, one of the largest school districts in the state with just one high school, because that's the trend nowadays. When you see these mammoth districts, the large enrollments, they split. Pickerington North, Pickerington Central, the 3 Westervilles, the 4 Olentangies, the 3 Hilliards. I mean, you can just go on and on and on. You go down to the southwest part of the state, the 2 Lakota schools. That's the trend, but Gahanna has kind of bucked that trend. First down and 10 for New Albany. Again, running the football, and a nice little jump cut move there to the 40-yard line as Ashton Allen. That was a nice move there, able to free him for a couple of extra yards, and he dives to the 40-yard line. Yeah,
not a big kid at all, a junior at 5'8", 165 pounds, but Ashton comes into tonight's game only with 38 rushing attempts, but he's the first go-to guy after Joseph Owusu Ansah comes out of the game. But, Marty, you talk about that one school. They opened up this year. Gahanna finally had a home game. You know, they've got a brand-new stadium, still under construction in certain areas there, but they're getting a new high school along with it.
Handoff inside, and not much running room here as short carry there as they tried to work to the right side of that Gahanna defensive front that time, and getting the call that time for New Albany was Max Appia, a 6-foot junior, lined up at one of the wing spots for New Albany.
Yep, that outside linebacker, Quan Rhodes McKee, number 3, 6'1", 210, a senior coming up and making that play.
Transfer from Westerville South, where last year he had 108 tackles for the Wildcats. And Ola, the fullback, was just powering his way towards the first down when a bunch of guys wearing white shirts decided he'd gone far enough. And coming up to make the hit initially for this Gahanna defense, right in the middle of that was Ben Morris, a 6', 298-pound senior defensive lineman. They have a number of guys that they can run back and forth up there. Watch Ola, Jeff. He's got some running room there.
He really does. Great vision there, too. You saw him kind of step his way through that hole. A good job by the offensive line. And Will Ola, only 38 rushes coming into tonight's ball game, but averaging over 4 yards a try.
New Albany will play on 4th down, trying to get a much-needed first down, and I don't think they got it. Ola was shoved back. The Gahanna defense says, nope, he did not make it, and our officiating crew agrees wholeheartedly. They were trying to get some momentum there with a much-needed first down, but the Gahanna defense rises up, and again, across that line, Eddie Blunt, one of the linebackers, and that's a pretty descriptive name, Blunt, with the hit.
Just too much penetration coming from that defensive line. Really impressive the way that they were able to clog things up, not create any opportunities. They ended up being about a half a yard short of the first down, and this will be an important drive right here, Marty. Down, 2 scores in this game. There's the big guy, Dior Hubbard, in there, along with his quarterback, Brennan Ward. See if Brennan Ward wants to put this ball in the air. 2 receivers, top of the screen.
And a solo wide at the bottom part of the screen. Instead, they're going to give the ball to Hubbard and able to break out of a tackle attempt, and there he goes. Wow, how about that getting out of the tackle attempt? And Dior Hubbard is gone. This is over 65 yards, his second lengthy touchdown gallop of the night, and he did that after being stymied at the line of scrimmage. He found another gear, and then off he went for the score. A Ramos Roofing touchdown. For a free estimate on your roof, call 614-761-ROOF. How about Dior Hubbard, the hat trick in the first half tonight? What's that?
This is not giving up on the play. Obviously, nobody had a hold of him, and he used that hand drill to kind of steady himself and was able to kick it into high gear, and nobody is going to touch Dior Hubbard here. That's got to be close to 200 yards rushing already here in the first half of play.
Well, he's got an 80, a 65, and a 4.
The math is pretty good.
Absolutely. Our crack statistician Jason Van Hoos will update us on those numbers in a moment. He's counting fingers and toes and spinning everything to keep up with the numbers for Hubbard. The extra point attempt is good, and Gahanna has a 20-0 lead over the New Albany Eagles tonight. So far, it's been the Dior Hubbard show. He has 3 touchdowns in the first half, as does Gahanna. On homecoming at New Albany, the Lincoln Lions up 20-0.
It's Toyota Truck and SUV month, and with more to choose from than anyone else.
Your new Toyota will have you ready for anything.
Ready for a family adventure. Ready for a night out.
Your Toyota, your choice.
Now, during Toyota's Truck and SUV month, get 3.99 APR financing on the new aggressively sophisticated Toyota Highlander.
Or 4.99 APR financing on this electrified Highlander hybrid. Plus, get 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Toyota Truck and SUV month. The choice is yours.
Toyota, let's go places.
We talked tonight about Dior Hubbard, and if you thought we were a little erroneous in our discussion of this talented young man, well, I think you might want to think again. Scoring summary brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health of Franklin County. One play, 65 yards. Their second one-play scoring drive of the night. New Albany down 20-0 with the football, and a good return here as carrying out across the 30-yard line for New Albany. A nice return there by Miles Jackson as the New Albany Eagles try to get something going in this first half of this game. Coming up at the intermission, strength, agility, strategy, and mascots all rolled into one. It's the Safe Flight Auto Glass Mascot Challenge, involving beloved furry friends who are vying for the much-coveted title of Mascot Champion. Jeff, that comes up at the half. I know it's always one of your favorite parts of our broadcast.
Absolutely, and the winner gets to take on Kellyanne Stitz at the end of the season in week number 10. I think that's going to be really...
Does Kellyanne know that?
I didn't sign up for that.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Wait a minute.
Hey, sorry, girl.
That's right.
Oh, thanks, Jeff.
She's going to be on the phone with her agent before this game is over.
He'll be competing with me.
Have to call Clay Hall and have him get that straightened away for you. Hand off inside.
We could get Clay an outfit to wear. What do you think? I think that's a great idea.
Jeff, I think you have to do it with me now that you signed me up for this.
I'll do it with you, girl. I will absolutely do it.
Let's go.
Play out to the 34-yard line. Kellyanne, we missed you. Kelly was in South Bend last week, helping Notre Dame keep the right number of players off the field last Saturday night in the remaining moments of that game. New Albany with the football, and not much running room at all. This Gahanna defense kind of smelling blood right now. They were able to gang tackle Owosu Ansah and drop him right after a gain of just a yard to the 35.
Marty, you talked about that Notre Dame game. How about the fact, you alluded to it, that twice in that game they had 10 players on the field. Here's the thing that caught me off guard. A week before then, or 2 weeks before then, against Tennessee State,
they did it again.
Same thing.
They did it again, yeah.
I mean, is mathematics not a major in South Bend? I mean, let's get it right, guys. We're glad to be the beneficiary, though.
It's an interesting strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Hand off to the left side, and this is Ola with the carry out near the 40-yard line. It'll be just shy of the first down.
I got to think you're 4-down territory right here early in the football game, down 20-0. They're going to need about the length of the football, maybe a little bit more to be able to get the first down. This is the fullback again, Will Ola. And I thought he was going to be able to stretch here, but his legs were taken out. You can see he needed to get the ball to the 40-yard line for the first down. And it looks like Brian Finn is going to keep that offense out on the field. Let's see if they go quarterback sneak right here.
They used that earlier to pick up a first down. And it will be Nash with the carry. And I think he got it. There's a mass of humanity right around the 41-yard line. Not quite the way the Philadelphia Eagles use it when they just gather everybody up at the line of scrimmage and then push ahead, but it was close to it. It is a New Albany first down and a Bowling Green State University first down in the first half for this New Albany offense.
Did somebody say Ryan Day take notice of that quarterback sneak? Boy, he was taking some heat, wasn't he? My goodness. What a great win, though, for the Ohio State Buckeyes. 2-0 the last 2 seasons over Notre Dame. And where is Lou Holtz? Do we know?
Handoff inside. Here is Ola again, and he has dropped at the 43-yard line. As I mentioned, Jason Van Hoos is handling stats for us tonight. That was the 29th play of the game that New Albany has run. Gahanna's run 12. And your score is, Jeff?
Yeah, take a look at that. Yeah. I mean, it's a shutout there. You know, one of the things you got to believe that New Albany's setting up is the ability to go ahead and roll the quarterback after a couple of those ball fakes back there and hit one single receiver streaking down the field. And we had a couple of opportunities where you watch Braylon Nash. He's a really good guy in terms of faking the football. Let's see if he can come up with a long throw here on play action. Oh, my goodness.
Penetration that time as racing in was Quan Rhodes McKee, the 6'1", 220-pound senior linebacker who just shot the gap and got to Owusu Ansah in an absolute heartbeat.
You know, a lot of this wing T accounts on misdirection. Well, there was no misdirection for Mr. Quan Rhodes McKee, number 3, coming right in there, doing his job, getting across the line of scrimmage. And I wasn't kidding when this team came in defensively with only one returning starter from a year ago with 42 tackles for a loss already through the first 6 weeks of the season. That is remarkable.
Play loss 4 back to the 39, so a 3rd and long. And again, New Albany behind the chains, and they'll try to pick up the first down on the ground, and not much running room to the far side as, again, New Albany running into the teeth of that Gahanna defense. Eddie Blunt, the 6'1", 195-pound senior linebacker, was one of the first Gahanna Lions to get there on the stop. The play carried just to the 45. So, again, New Albany's going to have to punt the football away after the 6-yard pickup. It is still about 6.5 yards shy of a first down here for this New Albany offense. 4.5 to go, quarter number 2. Dior Hubbard has scored 3 times in this first half, and Gahanna leads 20-0.
Second timeout.
Logan Clapier getting set to kick the football away, but again, a timeout called by Gahanna with 4:21 to go here in this first half. It's been all Gahanna tonight here at New Albany. The Lions lead New Albany 20-0.
You got any games tomorrow? Doing anything at all?
I got nothing tomorrow.
Good for you.
First time in a while.
Feels good, doesn't it? Almost feels empty, though.
I was almost going golfing.
Like, what am I supposed to be doing?
I was almost going golfing. That fell through at the last minute.
I am.
I'm a little disappointed by that.
I am.
I figured that.
Can you hear me now? Do we want to try to get involvement with... Okay. Some of the members are here, so I'm going to get them in the background as well.
Is that the harvest move? Okay, thank you. What a great shot of the moon rising as we look here from our facility. Great job as always by our CW Columbus camera crew, our Friday night rivals. Technical folks, they do a spectacular job bringing you the sights and sounds of high school football each and every Friday night. New Albany getting ready to kick the football away. Down 20-0. Back deep for Gahanna is Alex Donovan.
Looks like Gahanna might want to bring a little bit of pressure here on the kick.
Clapier gets off a very high, very short spinning kick that will check up at the 30-yard line, and that's where Gahanna's high-powered offense will come back onto the field. Kellyanne Stitz on the sidelines for us tonight.
Guys, I wanted to take a moment to highlight New Albany football's work in the community. They're very involved with Special Olympics. Head coach Brian Finn helped start the first track program with Special Olympics in New Albany, and he's recruited the football guys to help out over the years, especially with flag football in the fall. They also get the cheerleaders involved. It's become a partnership within the community, and members of the Special Olympics teams are here tonight in support. They run out with the guys out of the locker rooms, and they're here on the sidelines cheering on the Eagles.
First down for Gahanna with the football. Brian Finn, a longtime assistant here, then took the head coaching job a couple of seasons back. Last year guiding New Albany to a 10-4 record. And, Jeff, that's really how you build programs. It has to start
you have to have
in those youth
consistency.
leagues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what you got to be able to do. And Brian Finn's been with New Albany all the way back to 2000. He was a student coach at Ohio State, 98-99, been the offensive coordinator since 2013, and he followed the guys like Bubba Kidwell and some guy named Pat Samanich, who's sitting right down the way from us here, who was a previous coach here.
Hubbard with the carry as he got out across the 35 to the 38. You saw Kellyanne a moment ago with that jacket on. She mentioned earlier how it was 25 degrees the second time these teams met last year. She must think it's 25 again tonight.
Yeah, what is that all about? Do we have gear that only Kellyanne gets?
I'm a freeze baby. Hey, I was born in Northeast Ohio, but I still get cold, guys.
All right.
Well,
Princess treatment down here on the sidelines. I just come prepared.
That's obvious. Third down for Gahanna.
Oop.
And flags come in as the Lions get ready to snap the football.
I hate to bring it up, but that is, I think, other than the kick out of bounds, is that potentially the first flag of the night? I'm sorry I brought it up.
First penalty of the night, and we'll get this call, sponsored by the United States Army. Our referee tonight is Chris Glass. Now you know what happens if we start getting a plethora of flags.
I know, I blew it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Everything was moving smoothly.
Foot in mouth disease.
There you go. Hand off to Hubbard and across the 45 to the 46-yard line.
You know, they've got to make some adjustments over on the defense, just simply because, Gahanna's not doing anything really special in terms of the way that they're running the offense. This is just lead option right up the middle. And one of the things they're going to have to do is just going to have to pack the box. And what that will do is open up opportunities for quarterback Brennan Ward to be able to throw the football. We always saw him already throw the ball deep once. He got 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom.
And Ward is back to throw now, delivers over the middle and just missed his receiver on the New Albany side of the football at the 44-yard line. The incomplete pass as Brennan Ward, hitting 90 or 75% of his passes coming into this game, just missed on that one. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we will head down to the third member of our broadcast crew once again. We'll hear from Kellyanne Stitz. For the Music Go Round Coach's Corner, we will hear from, at this juncture, you would have to think Bruce Ward, with his team leading here at this juncture of the first half, for his thoughts on the first half, and that comes your way in moments. 2:21, in fact, away from that. Third down for Gahanna. And Ward is back to throw. Brendan Ward flushed out of the pocket now, and he will deliver ahead. A flag is down. This is probably a holding call. Normally where that flag is tossed. General location, middle of the field, right around the line of scrimmage. The left tackle, Jake Grimm, may be the guilty party for Gahanna. We'll listen to Chris Glass tell us. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. There we go, the holding call against Gahanna.
The coach is still trying to make a decision on the sidelines in terms of whether or not he wants to take the penalty or not. That's that
brings up fourth down.
The delay.
Right.
Holding. Offense. Number 71. Penalties decline. Fourth down.
That was the center, Jeremy McDowell, one of the 3 returning starters up front for Bruce Ward.
Yeah, there's the frustration. I talked about the fast start being either really, really good for your football team or really bad. And where it's bad, sometimes it's just losing that focus of doing the next right thing.
Bruce Ward's in his 9th year coaching Gahanna. 57 wins and 36 defeats. Before that, he spent 5 years as the head coach at Beechcroft. And here is the kick angling inside and takes a nice Gahanna roll to the 19 and finally rolls to a halt at that juncture, and that's where New Albany's offense will come back onto the field. Exactly 2 minutes to go here in half number one with Gahanna up 20-0. We invite you to stick around at the half for the Bath Fitter halftime show. Discover the inspiring ways that teachers from both Gahanna and New Albany high schools are helping students. That's in the Ohio Education Association Educator Spotlight. It's all coming up in the Bath Fitter halftime show. Transform your bathroom in as little as 1 day. Get started by calling 614-392-8045. Talk to your friends at Bath Fitter. 2 minutes to go first half. Gahanna leading 20-0. Nash will hand off as Owusu-Ansah tries to get to the edge from the 20-yard line.
Not much of a 2-minute offense with this wing tee, but one of the things they will try and do is be efficient in terms of getting up there and getting the play called quickly. They will get the football to begin the second half, but New Albany, with all 3 timeouts remaining, would love to put a couple of first downs together right here, Marty, and get at least a field goal on the board before halftime.
These two teams met twice last year, once in the regular season and then in the regional final at historic Crew Stadium, a game that Gahanna won 25-17. In fact, Gahanna won both matchups last year. That game at Crew Stadium, that was the one Kelly was referencing where it was 25 degrees at kick. That game, there was only one score in the second half. That was an 84-yard touchdown run on a kickoff return by Gahanna's Malik Shaheed. And that allowed Gahanna to win that game last year over New Albany in the regional final. New Albany finishing 10-4 last season. The first time they met in the regular season, Gahanna won 38-24. In the second half of that game, they held New Albany to just 6 first downs. Both teams had blocked punts in that game that resulted in big plays. Here tonight, though, it has been all Gahanna. And some good running room, one of the few times tonight for this New Albany offense, as speeding to the corner to the far side was Owusu-Ansah. That's some big games this year, Jeff. Went for 155 in their win over Walnut Ridge.
That gives you something you can build upon. Try and get some little energy going here before the end of the first half.
Ball out to the 35-yard line. 31 seconds left in this first half. Gahanna 6-0, ranked number 4 in the state in the latest top 10 rankings. New Albany coming in at 2-4, but 1-0 in the Ohio division. They won their opener last week, edging Grove City 25-24, while Gahanna won their division opener last week as they rolled past Westland 49-7.
Albany not interested in taking any of those timeouts. They're just going to let this thing run down here. Again, knowing they're going to get the ball to start the second half, but trailing 20-0 in this football game.
Clock spinning towards the end of half number one. A first half that Gahanna, on the first play from scrimmage tonight, Dior Hubbard rumbled 80 yards for a touchdown. Hubbard would score 2 more times in half number one. And that's where we stand at the intermission. The Gahanna Lincoln Lions, looking to go to 7-0 on the season, are halfway to that mark as they hold a 20-0 lead over the New Albany Eagles at the intermission here. We talked about how New Albany had to stay ahead of the chains, if you will, and not fall behind in this game to have a shot going into the fourth quarter. They get their work cut out for them in half number 2.
Yeah, and they got started offensively where they were looking like they were getting some momentum going, and then that one sack, that one tackle for a loss kind of spun things the wrong way, and they got behind the chains and really made it very difficult for their football team to stay in there. But, Marty, 2 one-play drives, you can't do much against that.
Kellyanne Stitz is on the sideline with Gahanna's Bruce Ward.
Coach, Dior Hubbard, a hat trick in the first half. How important will it be to continue to get the ball in his hands and for the offensive line to open things up for him?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously he's a good running back, and it's important for us to get our run game going. Hopefully that opens up something on the back end for our passing game.
What are the keys to keep this momentum going in the second half? Of course, a healthy lead, but to keep those guys locked in and focused.
Yeah, I think they'll be locked in. It's a rival game, but we still just got to execute. I don't think we're executing real well right now, so we got to execute better on all 3 phases of the game.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys.
Again, a head coach up 20-0, but still sees room for improvement.
Coach him up.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're at the intermission. It's Gahanna leading New Albany by the score of 20-0. This is Toyota's Friday Night Rivals on the CW Columbus. All Gahanna in half number 1.
And then
she's a professional. She'll bring him over to us.
And then for
It's halftime at Eagles Stadium, Veterans Field. 20-0 score. The Lions have the lead over New Albany.
Association are teaming up to. Where do you want to do that? Welcome into the Kitchen Saver halftime show. I'm Kellyanne Stitz. Right now, Gahanna Lincoln leads New Albany 20-0. Now, all season long, the CW Columbus and the Ohio Education Association are teaming up to highlight the teachers making a difference inside of the classrooms and the student athletes playing in this game tonight. It's time now for the Ohio Education Association Educator Spotlight.
The Ohio Education Association and the CW Columbus are putting the spotlight on these exceptional teachers here in Columbus, celebrating sociology teacher Kristen Kraft of Gahanna Lincoln and math teacher Nate Krull of New Albany. Kristen teaches her kids the importance of psychology and sociology and helps them learn more about themselves and their behaviors.
I try to have something where they're constantly learning and doing something new. I want them to be really, like I said before, engaged. I want this to be a class where they come in like, what are we going to do today? That's kind of the question I always want to hear from them. What are we going to do today? That means the excitement's there and that they're willing to be into whatever crazy idea I've come up with for us to do that day.
Nate leads kids on and off the field and makes sure they finish whatever they've started.
Yeah, I would say it'd be finished. It's all about faith and family, initiative, nobility, integrity, sacrifice, and humility. And if you do that, everything else is fine.
Congratulations to these outstanding educators and all the hard work they do for the future of Ohio.
Once again, congratulations from all of us on CW Columbus to the teachers making a difference inside of their classrooms. But now it's time for a show of strength, strategy, and athleticism from some unlikely sports icons. It's time now for the Safe Flight Mascot Challenge. Check it out.
Welcome, everyone, to the Safe Flight Mascot Challenge, right here on the CW Columbus. All right, then, let's meet the contestants. Jaguar, Bear, Cardinal, Dog, and Good Day Columbus's own Muggsy. This week's challenge, Tug of War, and it's the mighty Mug Muggsy taking on his mascot competitors. The action is intense as both try to gain an advantage. Muggsy's intensity is fierce. You can tell he really wants a win. The mascots are certainly all in for a win. This tug of war is at a stalemate as both sides continue to fight. The fans are completely blown away by the competition. No one is giving an inch. Who is going to pull off a victory? Muggsy lets go of the rope. Down go the mascots. This is clearly Muggsy getting payback for all the dirty tricks played on him. Oh my! Mascot carnage is everywhere as Muggsy gets the last laugh, which means this week's big winner are the fans. Congratulations, fans. You've truly witnessed history. Tune in next week for another exciting Safe Like Mascot Challenge on the CW Columbus. No mascots were harmed in the making of this video.
The mascot challenge just gets better and better every week. But again, you guys are watching the Bath Fitter halftime show right now. Gahanna Lincoln leads New Albany 20-0. And after the break, we're going to hear from our friends at Make It Make Sense. But again, you're watching the Bath Fitter halftime show. We're back after this. Stick with us.
Hey everybody, we hope you're enjoying tonight's version of Friday Night Rivals during this halftime moment. And we want to talk about a serious issue that's not just facing adults, but facing our teenagers, our junior high students. And that is the epidemic of smoking and vaping. To talk more about it and how they're combating this issue is Dr. Iyad Hassan, Chief Operating Officer and Vice President of Operations at the Breathing Association. So Dr. E, how serious is smoking and vaping right now in Central Ohio?
In Central Ohio, it's a big epidemic. And the big epidemic in relation to nationally, our smoking rates are double, if not triple the numbers. And we are definitely seeing triple, if not quadruple the number of teens actually switching from cigarettes and going to vape. Vape has completely taken over our schools.
And there's a misconception that vaping is less harmful than cigarettes, where it can be just as harmful in the end game.
It really can. The chemicals that are actually found in cigarettes are also found in the vape. So last when I thought that you shouldn't have chemicals in your body. So ultimately, individuals should definitely second guess that vaping is a healthier option.
Now, as this grows and more people become addicted and just can't quit, what is Make It Make Sense doing? What's the partnership there?
Well, Make It Make Sense is a large partnership with the City of Columbus, Franklin County Public Health, as well as great individuals as at Adam H. We're really working together to actually help combat the idea of smoking and vaping in the community. We really want to motivate more people to try to quit smoking, but as well as having teens think about not starting, or even if themselves contemplate the idea of thinking about quitting vaping.
And a lot of parents might not know that their child is vaping, so it's important to talk to them about it.
It really is. And sadly, we can almost move vaping to the level as a drug. It is something that you really need to investigate, because children will try any way and every way. This has become almost normalized in society, vaping, compared to stigmatized with cigarettes. So parents need to take a deep breath and actually bite the bullet and go talk to their child about it.
Well, Dr. E, thank you so much for bringing awareness and helping our community out in this issue. We
Thank
really
you for having me.
appreciate it. If you are having trouble quitting, or you know someone that's addicted, all you have to do is reach out. The resources are there. You can call pound 250 on your cell phone, or visit their website, makeitmakesense.org.
The Ohio Education Association is proud to recognize Central Ohio's Scholar Athletes of the Week. Ellie McClelland is the lacrosse team captain at New Albany High School. She is USA U18 National Development Team, 2-time All-State, and 3-time All-Conference. Ellie is also the field hockey team captain and 2nd-team All-District. She's taking AP courses including European history, stats, and psychology. Ellie carries a 4.3 GPA. Max Haliba is the football team kicker at Gahanna Lincoln High School. He holds the #1 senior class ranking and is a member of the National Honor Society. Max has always had a rigorous schedule, taking 9 AP courses. He's earned the AP Scholar with Honors Award from College Board and has a 4.2 GPA. Max is involved with the 2nd and 7 Foundations camp that promotes reading and football, and he volunteers with the Gahanna Special Olympics. Congratulations to these outstanding Ohio Education Association Scholar athletes.
And congratulations to both of those student athletes and all of their accomplishments. We welcome you back here to the intermission. 20-0 is the lead for Gahanna over New Albany. Jeff Logan, Marty Bannister, and we told you at the top of the broadcast, Gahanna's a pretty good football team. For one of the few times we were right.
Well, they're explosive, and obviously the first play of the ball game, they go 80 yards for a touchdown. Diora's got something special. Here's the first play of the game for the opportunity for Gahanna to have the ball and basically runs over, truck one of the linebackers, and then take it the distance. 80 yards. He showed you not only the power, but the speed that he has, and the senior running back took it into the end zone 80 yards.
And not only from distance for Dior Hubbard, but after a long pass play set them up, he went in from close up.
Exactly, and this is when you run the ball well, it's gonna set up throws like this to Jalen Scott, and then right away you've got this shot right down to the 4-yard line, take it into the end zone, touchdown number 2 for Dior, but he ain't done.
No, as impressive as that 80-yard run was, Jeff, this may have been better.
Yeah, poor tackling. That's one of the things that New Albany's going to work on, because they had an opportunity to have him for about a 3-yard loss, yet this kid will not give up, and he ends up taking it 65 yards for the score.
And as we look at some of that first half math, it is dominated by Gahanna. The Lions, 250 total yards of offense, and most of that coming on the ground, Jeff.
Yeah, you got to do a better job of trying to stop that run, but this is a very talented football team. Now, New Albany will get the ball to start the second half, but down 20-0, you got to look at that first drive, Marty, and understand that is critically important, because this is not a team that can put up a bunch of points in a short period of time.
It is homecoming at New Albany, but the home team down 20-0 to the 4th-ranked team in the state. Can they come back? We'll see coming up here in the second half.
Tell Kelly we're getting a little cool up here, and maybe she could bring us a jacket.
I'm sorry, guys.
Just not that jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you guys hating on my jacket?
Do you have anyone in men's?
Unfortunately not. Am I tossing to break after this? Okay. Coach Finn, how do you slow down a guy like
Easier said than done. But yeah, that's got to fix. We got to tackle better. Wise one.
What was your message to the team down at the half?
The one thing we've done all year is we've played 4 quarters and up.
Because my A1 said it would be fine.
Was at my IFB?
I was here with the at the mic. I just need to know because I don't have the program.
Do you want me to go?
Those stadium lights are weird. It's almost like they're
shining down.
Yeah, not shining on the field, but the field looks good.
Can New Albany get back into this game? They trail Gahanna 20-0. Kellyanne Stitz had a chance to speak to Brian Finn a moment ago.
How do you slow down a guy like?
Easier said than done. But yeah, that's got to fix. We got to tackle better. Wise one.
What was your message to the team down at the half?
The one thing we've done all year is we've played 4 quarters. Up.
Brian Finn talked about having to play an entire 4 quarters of football, Kelly, and I know when you were talking to him, that was the message that really stood out, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, guys. That exactly that. He said, we've been in it all season long. We're going to fight till the 4th quarter. It doesn't matter what the score is up there. Even though they're down by 20, he said it doesn't matter. They're looking at this game as a whole new ball game in the second half, trying to get back in it. And again, I asked him, how do you slow down a guy like Dior Hubbard? And he said, yeah, good question. We're trying to do that as in the second half. You just have to tackle better and really swarm and get to him and make sure that you cannot give up those explosive plays in this second half, guys.
20-0 is the lead for Gahanna as we get ready to start the second half of this one here tonight. As we check out the Gahanna Lincoln Golden Lions High School Marching Band. They did put on quite a show at the intermission tonight. This look in on their performance is sponsored by Music Go Round Marching Band Sound. Check out any of their locations, 2630 Bethel Road, and in Gahanna, oh, by the way, inside the Stone Ridge Plaza, the Golden Lion Marching Band. We get ready to start the second half. Tonight's second half kickoff sponsored by MakeItMakeSense.org. Scan the QR code on the screen to get youth and adults the help they need to quit smoking and vaping. And a very good interview at the half there with Cameron Fontana and the folks with Make It Make Sense, trying to help cure what has certainly become a major issue with the youth in this country. And good message there at the intermission. Gahanna to kick the football away, leading by the score of 20-0. Max Haliba's kick fielded. And here comes New Albany with the football here to get this second half underway. Nice return going here, and out across the 30-yard line, and brought down for New Albany. On the return that time was Abo Kibi, and that return will set New Albany up with good field position. Jeff, they have had decent field position tonight. When they've had the ball, they just haven't been able to sustain any type of drive in this game.
Exactly, and they're going to have to become a little bit more balanced in terms of what they do, trailing by 20 points in this game. I was calling for that play action, being able to throw the football. Now, again, they're not going to throw it 30 times here in the second half, but they're going to have to put the ball in the air a little bit.
They will start at their own 33-yard line, and we'll start with a running play. And what a hit right there. Eddie Blunt, who we've called a number of times tonight on tackles, was the first Golden Lion to get there and drop the ball carrier, Owosu Ansa. And Eddie Blunt's played a heck of a game tonight.
That's like cousin Eddie Blunt. I mean, just coming in there and making a big play. I mean, that is terrific. Those linebackers are something else. 6'1", 195. You look across the line, Eddie Jennings in there along with Damian Jones. We talked about Quan Rhodes McKee. All those guys have been playing big games for the Gahanna Lincoln Lions.
Gain of 3 by Owosu Ansa. New Albany with the football. They hand off inside Will Ola, the big bruising fullback, shy of the 40-yard line. Brian Finn was telling Kellyanne Stitz how they've been in games this year, and he was right on the money. They trailed Marysville in the season opener 14-10 in the fourth quarter. In their overtime loss to currently undefeated Canal Winchester, they scored twice in the fourth quarter to force overtime. They were down 14-0. A 3-3 Lancaster team, they only trailed 6-0 in the fourth quarter. And in a game against a 1-5 Olentangy Liberty team, which scared the fur off this Gahanna team earlier this season, they were down 6-3 at the intermission. So they have been in just about every game.
Yeah, the average loss of their 4 losses has only been 8 points.
Nash flushed out of the pocket and running, and we'll just fire this one ahead to the far side as he was being chased that time. Jake Grimm putting big-time pressure on him, the 6'4", 295-pound senior nose guard.
Jake Grimm obviously playing both ways, plays that left tackle position on the offensive side, and then certainly gets his reps over there at the nose tackle position. Boy, 6'4", 295 in the middle of that defense. And, you talk about strength up the middle when your defensive team is on the field. That's pretty strong.
That was a third down play, and the pressure by Grimm made it fourth down after he forced Nash to throw the football away. Very high again, very short kick. That again will take a Gahanna roll at 39, and that's where the Lions will come back onto the field for the first time in half number 2. Gahanna 20, New Albany nothing. Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
Every new Toyota is built for you.
Your adventure, your commute.
Your style, your comfort, your choice.
Now during Toyota's Truck and SUV Month, choose from our extensive lineup of the longest-lasting vehicles out there.
Like the best-selling Tacoma, as comfortable off the road as it is on.
Now get 3.99 APR financing on a rugged new Tacoma, plus 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Toyota Truck and SUV Month. The choice is yours. Toyota, let's go places.
Gahanna's first touch of the night on offense, second half, and the first touch of the night, second half for Dior Hubbard. As he nears the 200-yard mark. He had 191 at the intermission, and on that first carry there on the initial play of the second half, he gets out to the 43 and picks up 5, and he is inching closer. He had a $191 at the intermission, Jeff.
Well, only averaging about 20 yards a try with those couple of big runs that he had, and again, nothing real fancy here, just lead option right up the middle, and you can see the play call change by quarterback Brennan Ward. 2-year starter, just a junior, was a little bit of a quarterback controversy maybe a year ago.
Good pass to the far side. Ben Bramer, the wide receiver, 6'1 senior, his first catch of the night, spins and picks up a first down for the Gahanna offense as they move into New Albany territory for the first time here in the second half.
Bramer, a big target out there, able to throw the football. He's had 12 receptions, or 6 receptions, coming into tonight's game. Not used a lot, but he is important in the running game as well.
Gahanna on the move as we start half number 2. That was a John Hinder's dealer first down, and here is Hubbard spinning, and a helmet pops off as Hubbard was turning inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. So this will force the individual who lost the hat will have to come out for a play here. It was Will Ola, the strong side linebacker. We were talking earlier in a game this year. We saw a couple of games where players would lose a helmet but stay in the game, and Jeff and I had a chance to spend some time with members of our officiating crew prior to the game, and that was one of the rules this year. You can stay in the game if there's a foul and a helmet pops off, and that's what we had seen on a couple of occasions earlier this year. Ward to throw, and a dart over the middle, and it's caught. It's a first down for Gahanna as the play carries to the 30-yard line. That was Amir Simmons with the catch, his 19th of the season. And a good throw right there, strong in the pocket, Brennan Ward.
Not a big target, but a good route runner. Part of that wide receiver room, that former Ohio State wide receiver and NFL player Roy Hall is in charge of, doing a terrific job bringing this receiver room along.
Chunk gain, 22. Here's Hubbard to the far side. Runs through a tackle attempt and is wrapped up and thrown out of bounds. That's a great point you brought up about Roy Hall. And I know we had a chance to talk to him before the game. Kelly Ann Stitz had a chance to talk to him before the game as well, too. And the impact he has made on that receivers room, Jeff, it's not unlike the impact that all of those coaches that are currently on the staff at Westerville North for Stan Jackson have made, former Buckeyes, and it has opened some eyes in that Gahanna locker room.
Well, there's something about just being able to talk it, but he lived it, and he, is obviously the power that he delivers to those kids is something special. What a night for this young man. Over 200 yards rushing now and 3 touchdowns.
First time he has cracked the double century mark. And there's a pass through the hands of Jalen Scott, who ran a nice route. That ball just had a little too much mustard on it and sailed over his head inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Brennan was going to want that one back. It just sailed on him. That's catchable, though, man. You got to go up and get that ball. Again, that ball thrown a little bit high, Marty, but that's a ball that you have to be able to catch going over the middle.
And you could see the pass as we got a great look at it on our replay. It was wobbling a bit as it came towards Jalen Scott, but you're right. What do they say? Hit you in the hand, you ought to catch it.
You got to be able to get it.
They'll put 2 backs in the backfield now, and Ward will sling it to the near side to Simmons, almost Patrick Mahomes style. Steps out across the 25-yard line to the 24 where he is brought down. Amir Simmons, the 5'8", 170-pound senior.
We heard Bruce Ward talk to Kelly on his way off the field at the end of the first half and wanting to get a little bit more balanced in terms of what they are doing offensively as well. And, the running the football is important to the Gahanna Lions, but they also want to be able to throw the ball and be balanced. Coach's son right there looking right into his eyes. Boy, what an upside this young man has with another year.
Been a starter since week 7 of his freshman season at Gahanna. Entered the night hitting 75% of his throws, and again, that one just a little too much steam on it as it went through the hands of Dior Hubbard inside the 20 at about the 15, and that'll bring up a 4th down for this Gahanna offense. And again, this throw, maybe just a little too much steam on it.
Yeah, and that one was high. There's no question about it, especially when you got a running back coming across the middle. You can't really see over those big offensive linemen, and all of a sudden the ball appears, and it's hard to adjust to it. So make it a little bit easier on your open receivers to be able to catch the football. And that's just Brennan Ward being a little bit too aggressive in terms of throwing the football, and they'll turn it over on downs.
And that was a 4th down call, so New Albany gets the football back at their own 23-yard line, trying again to establish something here in this game, which moves under the 7.5-minute mark here of quarter number 3 tonight here at Veterans Stadium at New Albany High School. We'd like to thank Richie Wadenhouse and the entire staff here at New Albany for their hospitality. Always love coming out here and watching high school football in the great state of Ohio. Not a better place to watch high school football than Ohio. 4 weeks away, Mr. Logan, from the playoffs.
Isn't that something? Mm-hmm. Seems like this has just flown by.
Inside, Ola with some running room for the first time tonight and barrels his way out across the 35 to the 37-yard line for a John Hinderer's dealer. First down for the New Albany offense here in quarter number 3.
That's one of the best runs of the night for the New Albany Eagles. And watch Eddie Blunt, number 5, come in and finish things up right there, making another big play on the defensive side.
Gahanna's defense has started to really flex its muscles against people this season. That first game was against Mason. I'll tell you more in a minute here after Ola with the carry out across the 40-yard line. A flag is down against Mason in the season opener against the Comets from the Greater Miami Conference.
Holding.
Penalty is sponsored
Offense,
by the U.S.
number
Army.
70, 10-yard penalty. First down.
Left tackle Nick Newsom hit with the holding call. That game against Mason, I had a chance to go back and watch that, and that was just a good old slugfest for 48 minutes. Just two very physical football teams just punching each other up and down the field. Season opener, Gahanna got a field goal in the fourth quarter to win it 10-5. They trailed 3-2 at the half, Jeff, after 4 innings of play.
I was going to say, you sure you weren't at the Reds game?
But it was just one of those games that, and when you're breaking in a defense with 10 new starters, that was all the more impressive against a Mason team that's 3-3. And if you know anything about football in that part of the state, that Greater Miami Conference, they get after it in high school football in that league, the GMC. This is Owusu Ansah carrying out across the 30-yard line as Will Ola lost his hat and we forced to check out of the game for New Albany.
Better work on that helmet over there. That's the second time that lid's popped off, and you got to keep that young man in the football game. It gives you some idea of the physicality of what's going on down there. And
just look at the penalty, sponsored by the United States Army. We'll hear from Chris Glass here momentarily.
Boy, these are absolute deal killers for New Albany. Not that you can't recover from everything, but now look at, we're
1st and 30 here.
Yeah, it's just, this is not part of the makeup of what makes New Albany special. They don't make these kinds of mental mistakes.
A little over halfway through the second half. 1st and 30. And the ball out near the 19-yard line. New Albany last year went 10-4. Got to the regional semis where they lost to the top seed, Gahanna. We were talking about that a little bit earlier, that 25-17 game on a bitterly cold night in Central Ohio in November. Gahanna got to Lakewood St. Edward, the eventual Division I state champions, in the state semifinals, losing 31-7. Lakewood St. Edwards lost one game this year. That was to Massillon, and That apparently has impressed the voters in the state of Ohio. They have kept Lakewood St. Ed #1 in the state despite that loss. Flare to the near side, Nash with the pass, and oh my goodness, what a big-time stick over there as our star to watch, Terrell Holcomb, with a big hit over there on the receiver that time for New Albany, Ashton Allen.
Massillon ranked #1 in Division II. Right behind them, Canal Winchester.
And right behind Lakewood St. Edward, Pickerington North in Division I. Ball out to the 24-yard line. It's a third down call upcoming now for the New Albany offense. Handoff to the near side, and again, another big hit. As, again, that was Ashton Allen trying to get to the near side. Now a penalty flag comes sailing in after the play. May have a dead ball personal foul coming up here.
Looked like Ben Morris, number 68. Kind of moves in and out of that nose tackle position. There he is celebrating. Big kid, 6 foot.
After a play,
298.
Dead ball, personal foul, offense, number 54. Half the distance to the goal. The down counts, 4th down.
That was the right guard, Owen Simmons. And again, when you're trying to battle back into a game, even though the play really didn't help you much, again, those are plays you just can't have because you're going to have Gahanna working on more than likely a short field here
just
offensively.
total frustration right there by their football team, and that's not, again, what New Albany football is all about, but that's a mistake they're going to learn from, and I would expect Gahanna to get after this football. They should have great field position, but they have come close on a couple of these punts.
Alex Donovan waits at the New Albany 45-yard line for the kick by Clapier, and that's about where he will field it. A fair catch signaled for, and Gahanna will put its offense back onto the field. Just a little over 4 minutes to go. Quarter number 3. Gahanna looking to go 7-0. They lead New Albany 20-0. There is no need to wait to get the score of your favorite high school team here in week number 7. First Scores on Fox 28, sponsored by Columbus Day Community College, has you covered tonight starting at 10 o'clock. And there are a lot of games to keep an eye on here in week number 7. We're starting to factor in computer rankings and state rankings of where teams could eventually be playing in the postseason. Gahanna knows they're postseason bound, looking to get better each week out, this 4th-ranked team of head coach Bruce Ward. Here's Dior Hubbard with the carry. As the line of scrimmage, the 45 of New Albany, and Hubbard gets to the 39-yard line.
Marty, the motto of this Gahanna football team at the beginning of the season was something called No Loaf, L-O-A-F. Now we understand what that means. Don't take plays off, don't be lazy. But those letters actually stood for no lack of accountable football. And that is what Bruce Ward is trying to do, make these guys understand they're accountable on every play.
Brennan Ward back to throw. The pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage and will fall incomplete. Good pressure that time, as all good defensive linemen are taught. The moment that pass goes airborne, you get those hands up in the air. See if we get an idea who got a hand on this one.
Boy, good job of throwing it. You put the picket fence up there and make that quarterback throw through that picket fence. The defensive lineman doing a great job.
That looked like Aiden Shipman, the middle linebacker, who was coming in that time. A 6'1", 200-pound senior. And that's a guy that Brian Finn talked about. The help of that long playoff run last year for New Albany. When they got to the regional semis, Aiden Shipman got more and more snaps, more and more downs, and that really allowed him to improve his play. And it's been a big part of the New Albany defense this season. That was a big play right there. Now a timeout by Gahanna at the 3:26 mark. We were talking earlier about the impact that Roy Hall has had on this Gahanna receiving corps. Kelly and Stitch, we were down on the field prior to the game, and you had a chance to talk to Roy. He's an impressive guy, isn't he?
Yes, he certainly is. The former Buckeye and NFL receiver Roy Hall Jr. is Gahanna's wide receivers coach, and he stays busy shaping the young football players while also giving back to the community. Wanted to use his platform to help others, starting the Driven Foundation, running 15 years strong. The organization helps Central Ohio families in need. Over the last 15 years, guys, they provided 1.5 million pounds of free food to over 10,000 Central Ohio families and recently started a delivery service. Roy is also a motivational speaker, all while pouring his knowledge of the game from Ohio State and the pros into these young football players. I asked how he juggles everything, and he said, well, good time management, but he is grateful to be able to do what he does.
Kelly, and that's a great story, and we have talked so often during our broadcast this year. Jeff, I know the Logan Family Foundation very big into making sure folks are fed in the Central Ohio area.
Absolutely, and one of the things that we do support is the Driven Foundation, and Roy Hall's my radio partner, and he is a terrific young man. Flag on the play. It just looks like Gahanna kind of set in their ways right now, kind of out of sync.
False start. Offense, number 55, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Yeah, clearly, Bruce Ward wanted to work on the pass game a little bit. He talked about it not to run the score up by any stretch, but because they needed to get some work on their passing game. And I don't think that they can look at the way that they've thrown the ball or caught the ball tonight here in the second half and be very proud of it. So this is something they're going to have to continue to work on.
When I talked to Bruce Ward earlier in the week, I asked him what it's like to coach your son at a position like quarterback. Third down upcoming, we'll tell you more in a moment, as Brennan Ward goes back to throw and again has the pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. As again, New Albany able to get some hands in front of that pass that time. They had good pressure that time, and that might have been Hunter Howard coming in at one of the linebacker spots for New Albany.
Yeah, they were setting up the bubble screen and looked like a good opportunity, but quarterback's got to recognize that pressure. It came awfully quick. You can see how
that was Ethan Van Sant. He's the guy. Yeah, he's got an interception this year too.
Saw that offensive line. Evan Daly running out there. He's a commit to go play college football at Temple. Saw them on TV last night. That was a dueling Ohio State former coaches against each other. Temple head coach Stan Drayton.
You actually watched Temple play football? Huh?
No, I saw it was on.
Oh, okay. Punt.
You are brutal. You are killing
me. Inside the 20 to the 15, and that's where Gahanna's defense will greet the New Albany offense when they come back onto the field here tonight. We are in week number 7. Next week, we will be at Hilliard Bradley to see the Jaguars, who are undefeated. They're off to a very good start this year. And that Olentangy Liberty team, we talked about them being 1-5 earlier. That'll be our game next week. We're looking forward to that one. But they have played some good teams very tough. They had this Gahanna team down going to quarter number 4 a few weeks back, 28-19. So we'll have that for you next week. Hilliard Bradley playing host to Olentangy Liberty, 7 o'clock next Friday night right here on the CW Columbus.
Yeah, Liberty may have had the worst schedule in all of high school football.
But brutal. Flare out to the far side, and for the first time tonight, a substantial gain through the air for this New Albany offense as they flare it out to the far side.
Gahanna late getting on the field there. The officials were holding up the play, letting the defense get set, but I'm not so sure that they were all in position, ready to go, and a terrific opportunity for Braden Pettinger to be able to come up with the catch.
His 7th catch of the season, the 6-foot junior. Play carried out to the 36-yard line. A John Hinder's dealer first down here in this third quarter for New Albany. Owosu Ansa with the carry. Able to step through a couple of tackle attempts and pick up a decent gain out across the 40. We had a New Albany player a little slow getting up behind the play, but looks like he's all right. That was the left tackle, Nick Newsom.
You know, time of possession's got to be in favor of New Albany tonight, but they have absolutely nothing to show for it on the scoreboard.
What was that stat we had in the first half from our stat man Jason Van Hoos? 21 plays to 12?
Yeah.
Or 28 plays to 12. And they're down 20-0. Ball moved out to the 42 where it is 2nd down and 4 for New Albany. Nash is back to throw. Has some time in the pocket tonight. Will air it to the near side and trying to get the ball to Ashton Allen. And the pass sails out of bounds. Terrell Holcomb was on coverage that time.
Yeah, they were trying to go slant right off the very beginning trying to hit, it looked like Miles Jackson over the middle, and Miles was covered, not able to get him there, and that time quarterback Braylon Nash decided just to throw that ball away.
Enter the night, 48 of 94 on the season. Just 2 touchdown passes, just 1 interception. Again, this is a very run-oriented team. 260 yards per game of total offense, $158 of that coming on the ground, and they will run the football here. And there goes, for the first time tonight, substantial running room, and racing towards the goal line is Joseph Owusu-Ansah. And New Albany is on the scoreboard for the first time tonight. A heck of a run there by that young man, a Ramos Roofing touchdown. Call for a free estimate on your roof or text at 614-761-ROOF. New Albany on the board at the 142 mark. Joseph Owusu-Ansah into the end zone.
This is a matter of being patient, being confident, believing in your system, and a young man that is not going to quit on this play. And a great job by the offensive line, and Owusu-Ansah goes for touchdown number 9 on the season, rushing the football.
63 on the scamper for the score, and New Albany with a little life on the touchdown run and the extra point. And the Eagles have sliced into this deficit. Still some time to go in this football game. Brian Finn talked about it, the head coach of the Eagles. He told Kellyanne Stitz at the intermission, we just have to play our game and keep playing. We're still in this, and they're down 2 scores right now.
Yeah, he believes that his kids have been in these games 4 quarters, and they will not quit. They're going to give you every bit of effort that they've got. And Brian Finn certainly understands his football team, and his football team understands him. As you look at the scoring summary, took 4 plays, 86 yards, 1:31, brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health of Franklin County.
Joseph Owusu-Ansah with the touchdown run. 4 plays, 86 yards, 91 seconds.
You don't do anything silly on the kickoff here, do you?
With a quarter to go and timeouts? I wouldn't think so.
You always do it when nobody's expecting it, though, right?
Logan Clapier to kick the football away. Amir Simmons, one of the deep backs for Gahanna, and he is a very dangerous return man. Also back deep, Jalen Scott. And this one will sail into and roll out of the end zone. And Gahanna will put their offense back on the field. 20-7 is the lead. The Gahanna offense, they really haven't done a whole lot. I mean, other than Dior Hubbard, Jeff.
One long pass play
to
Jalen Scott. Other than that, their passing game has kind of been non-existent. And, you know, we're really not talking about long drives. We've had home run plays, you know, big explosive plays by this offense, which they've become known for. But I think one of the things that Coach Ward would like to see would be consistency. How about some of that no loaf, right?
There you go.
Let's be accountable on every play.
Brennan Ward will hand the football to Dior Hubbard. A little jump cut move as he went airborne and picks up a short gain out to the 23-yard line. Hubbard was a guy that Bruce Ward had an eye on for a long time. He said, I saw him in the 8th grade, and I knew right then and there he was going to be something very, very special.
Jake Grimm, the left tackle, getting up a little gimpy on the play, but he'll stay in.
And Hubbard has certainly been that throughout his career at Gahanna. Ward will look to the sideline for another play. And Ward will go back to throw now. Comes over the middle, and the pass is batted away. And good coverage that time by Gahanna. There was by New Albany, rather, the free safety, Clay Carr, a first-year starter. And he has played well this season for Brian Finn, and that was a nice play right there.
And the leading tackler on this football team playing that free safety spot, and this is really good coverage. Ball pretty well thrown, but into coverage.
You can kind of sense the momentum a little bit here shifting a little, Jeff. If New Albany is able to get Gahanna off the field here.
This would be a huge stop. Late substitution coming off the field for Gahanna. They get a new play call. Now they're going to substitute again. Only 7 seconds remaining on the play clock. Probably going to need to take a timeout.
Hubbard is lined up to the far side, and that is going to be the case here, as Bruce Ward's team will have to burn a timeout. And you look at the bottom of your screen, those New Albany coaches are fired up right now as they greet their defense coming over. A 20-7 lead for Gahanna as we are in the remaining moments of quarter number 3. don't forget that a lot will happen in the day, so certainly turn to Central Ohio's most watched news team, Bob Kendrick and the crew, with word on today's stories impacting you, your family, and the community. ABC6 News is on your side tonight starting at 11 o'clock.
Boy, from a throwing standpoint tonight, we've talked about the difficulty they've had. They've completed, the one long pass, but 4 out of 13 throwing the football tonight for 77 yards. That is not the kind of play that Brennan Ward is used to. He is a 75% completion guy and just off target tonight.
Big third down call here, 3rd and 7 for Gahanna. They lead 20-7. New Albany just getting a long touchdown run.
Now they're going Notre Dame with trying to get an 11th guy on the field.
Just not going to let that go, are you?
Nope.
Ward back to throw now. Has some time in the pocket, delivers far side, and the pass is caught. That will be a first down. Dior Hubbard made the catch and then stepped out of bounds for that.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was Jalen Scott on the catch over there. Hubbard was in the area.
Jalen was just tight roping the sidelines over there, and his job was to go far enough to get the first down and deliver this strike. And you can see thrown to the outside shoulder, nearly missed his target.
Yeah.
And forced him out of bounds, but Jalen Scott able to come up and keep the drive alive.
Big conversion there for Gahanna. They hand the football to Jaden Lewis, and there he goes out across the 45-yard line for a John Hinderer Dealers first down for this Gahanna offense.
I can't begin to tell you how big that third down conversion
Oh,
was, Marty, because you were talking about momentum changing. You could feel it in the stands here with the great fans at New Albany, and you had to believe that Gahanna beginning to question themselves a little bit.
Bruce Ward, 9th year guiding this Gahanna program, which for years has been one of the brand names in Central Ohio in high school football. They had kind of a down period for a couple of years, but they are, again, one of the names you think of when you think of Central Ohio football. And here's Lewis again. Look at the big man go across the 40, across the 35, and another John Hinderer Dealers first down as he rumbles to the 32-yard line.
He's a guy that's maybe an inch or two shorter than Dior Hubbard. But, man, does he pack a punch at 190 pounds. He would be, part of that bowling ball division of those running backs that, they just don't give you much to hold on to.
No.
Look at that. I mean, he is thick through the waist and all the way down.
And that will be the last play of quarter number 3. We head to the fourth quarter tonight. Toyota Friday night rivals, Gahanna and New Albany. Gahanna with the lead at 20-7. The Lions are driving as we head to the fourth quarter. We welcome you back to Veterans Field, Eagle Stadium in New Albany. Homecoming on this Friday night, week number 7. Along with Jeff Logan, Kellyanne Stitz, our entire CW Columbus broadcast crew. I'm Marty Bannister. Gahanna, which at one point led 20-0. Saw New Albany cut it to 20-7, and the Lions trying to answer. And after Dior Hubbard had been doing the majority of the damage, all of a sudden the 5'9", 200-pound senior punishing runner Jaden Lewis has started to chew up yards on the ground. And another Gahanna first down.
We'll have to keep an eye across the way and see if there's any issues with Dior Hubbard or if this is just a change of pace, fresh legs. Get this young man an opportunity. He, too, a senior, Jaden Lewis.
That's a Bowling Green State University first down for this Gahanna offense. Ball at the New Albany 23. Brennan Ward inside, Lewis again, and just keep feeding the big man, and he pushes his way to the 20. You saw Ward hand the football off, and I was referencing a little earlier when I asked Bruce Ward, the Gahanna head coach, what it's like to coach your son at a position like quarterback, and he was pretty blunt about his answer. I'm who I am. He's who he is. Fortunately, because I've got a little bit of a buffer, I don't have to really be the guy to tell him what to do. He leaves that to offensive coordinator Kyle Stout and the rest of that Gahanna offensive coaching mindset. But in a position like that, it can be an interesting dynamic a lot of times as Ward throws into the end zone and the pass incomplete trying to hit Amir Simmons. And we've seen that on a couple of occasions this year. We saw it on week number 1. Stan Jackson with his son.
Yep, absolutely the case. And the buffer, though, is, and you talked a little bit about it, having an offensive coordinator, having a quarterback's coach can be a little bit of a buffer. But at the end of the day, they go to the same place and close the door behind them in the same house. So great relationship, and I think he understands the importance, whether it's his son or not, of having an elite quarterback. If you're going to be an elite football team, the quarterback position leading your team has got to be there.
Brennan Ward spent a lot of time in the offseason working out with another pretty good quarterback in Central Ohio, Ethan Grunkemeyer from Olentangy. The two trained together in the offseason. Grunkemeyer is headed to play at Penn State. We'll see Grunkemeyer later this season with that Olentangy team. Ward being chased, hit the backfield and thrown down. A big play by that New Albany defense as racing in to make the big hit for the Eagles defense that time, getting pressure and a big sack right there. Kai Kaufman.
Boy, just
untouched. How about that? Wow.
Yeah, that was a breakdown in communication. And look at the right guard and the right tackle just staring at each other like, excuse me?
I'm sorry, that was Elijah Loudon.
Yeah.
Last year was on that defensive line and moved over to center this year, but they've been able to rotate him back on a number of possessions to defense, and that was an enormous play right there. It brings up a 4th down and long for Gahanna, and they're going to play.
They will play, it appears.
They need to get to the New Albany 12-yard line for a first down. And Ward will go back to throw. Has his choice of receivers, and the pass is incomplete, trying to hit Jalen Scott on a crossing route at about the 22-yard line. He took a pretty good pop for his effort there by Clay Carr. And the New Albany offense will come back onto the field with still time to go in this game, only down a couple of scores. And that blocked extra point way back in quarter number 1. Kind of keep that in the back of your mind now.
Absolutely. Again, throwing the ball a little high. Catchable? Arguably, yes. But that is a ball that has got to be a little bit easier for your receivers to be able to come down with.
Ball out at the 31-yard line. That's where New Albany starts on offense. Nash will go back to throw. Flares near side. Pass is caught out across the 45-yard line, and falling ahead is Braden Pettinger. And Pettinger with a nice catch as he picks up a Bowling Green State University first down, a pickup of 19 to the midfield stripe.
Yeah, a couple good catches tonight for this young man. You can see him running strong down there, and throwing the ball on first down is not what they do. But, man, they are very effective when they go play action and put the ball in the air.
Owusu Ansah with the carry, and he is grabbed right around the line of scrimmage and thrown back as Gahanna, that time a flag comes in after the play. Are we in that horse collar area here? That was a very high tackle that time. That was a very awkward-looking tackle there.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 9, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Jason Smith, the corner. So that tacks 15 onto this, and New Albany in the blink of an eye is at the Gahanna 36.
Yeah, and this is where Gahanna has run into issues this season, is just momentary lapses of composure and allowing other teams to be able to stay in games with them. Now, not so much the last 3 weeks when they put up 49 points. And it looked like that's the way this game was going to go at the very beginning. But you got to give New Albany a lot of credit for hanging in there and making this a ball game down the stretch.
Elijah Loudon, who made that big tackle a moment ago, came racing up to the line of scrimmage to set the offense at the center. They hand off to Owosu Ansah, finds a gap, gets through it, is spun down at the 30-yard line. And that harkens back, Jeff, to what we were talking about in our keys to the game tonight. Brian Finn said we have to have a game in the fourth quarter to have a chance at this one, and there they are right now.
When just stoic over there in terms of what he does, what he wants to do, talking about Coach Finn. The respect that he has with his football team.
Pick up a 5 to the 31, and this is Ola, or check it. Ola had been getting a lot of that work at that fullback spot tonight, and for the first time tonight,
Van
they
Kaufman.
hand off inside. Yeah, Van Kaufman.
First time we've seen him in there, the 180-pound junior running back, but a flag on the play.
That'll wipe out the gain.
Boy, if anything, the untimely penalties against New Albany have been a factor tonight. And again, their offense not able to recover from the negative plays as easily as maybe some pass-happy teams might be able to. See what quarterback Braylon Nash has in mind.
Ball moved back to the 41-yard line. Will be 2nd and 15. Nash straight back to throw, has some time near side, and this is Pettinger again, and he gets across the 36-yard line to the 35. Pettinger, 6', 190-pound junior, had just 6 catches on the season coming in. We'll say he stepped out of bounds at the 37. So it'll be just a gain of 4, and that brings up now a very big 3rd down and 11 for New Albany. With 8:10 to go in the game, Jeff.
You would assume a passing down here. Pretty good night by Braylon Nash so far. Been effective when he's had to throw the football.
Now with the shotgun, he's back to throw with so far a clean pocket. Looks long over the middle, and this one will fall incomplete. Miles Jackson was the intended receiver, but Gahanna doing a nice job of covering him that time. Terrell Holcomb was not about to let him get free. And so that'll bring up now a 4th down and 11, and I don't think Brian Finn has any other opportunity here.
5 out of 8 passing tonight for Braylon Nash. There's your quarterback. 57 yards. No touchdowns, obviously, throwing the football, but they're going to play on 4th down.
Still a lot of time to go in this game, 8 minutes and 4 seconds, but you would almost have to think you would have to convert this here, Jeff. Ball's at the 37 of Gahanna. Again, they will go out of the shotgun, and Nash is back to throw. Here comes the rush. Nash flush to the near side now, sets, and just heaves it ahead and out of bounds. And Gahanna will get the ball on downs. A big stop for that Gahanna defense, as again, New Albany starting to feel a little bit of momentum there, but the New Albany offense ran into that Gahanna defense, which was ready for the challenge right there. And Gahanna will get the football back on downs. Gahanna in the fourth quarter leading New Albany 20-7. Wow.
Yeah.
London's good. They're unbeaten.
Aren't they both undefeated? Or Alder's got one loss?
John's always 5-1.
Yeah. Those are both undefeated.
Well,
that's a heck of a game.
Pick Central. Central Crossing's brutal.
Yep. Blooms up.
$7:57 to go in the game. Gahanna on downs gets the football back. Lions leading New Albany 20-7. Lions looking to go to 7-0 and move closer towards another OCC Ohio Division championship. They won the Ohio Division last year at 5-0. They hand it off inside, and short running room that time inside. Hubbard's back into the game. And Hubbard out to the 38-yard line.
Nice play by Brennan Ward. Excuse me. Nice play inside by Hunter Howard, number 48, coming up with the tackle for the New Albany Eagles.
Gahanna next week will be back home for Westerville Central. The Warhawks are 0-6, but I mean they scared Pick North to death last week. And our fake, and no, it is Hubbard with the carry. It's a great play fake by Brennan Ward, and Hubbard keeps the football and pushes out towards near the midfield stripe at the 47-yard line. When Gahanna goes back to play at home next week against Westerville Central, that new Lions Den is open, Jeff. You were talking about it earlier. It had to be tough on them last year to play all of their games on the road. They had to practice off campus as well, and despite those things they had to deal with, they came within a game of playing for a state championship.
They had 11 straight wins going through all of that adversity a year ago.
Handoff inside, and this is Hubbard again at the 48-yard line. It looks like it is good enough for a Bowling Green State University first down. It is. The chains will move as we hit the 6:38 mark here of quarter number 4. While we have this brief moment, I want to send out some get well wishes to a guy who has been covering sports in the state of Ohio for many, many years. Had a chance to first meet this individual way back when we were both covering Ohio State. I on the radio, he for the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Our friend Bruce Hooley is undergoing some health issues right now. And, Bruce, we just want you to know a lot of people are thinking about you, including all of us here. And I know you're watching tonight, and we are all rooting for you to get back up and get back out covering sports, which I know you love to do. There's Hubbard with the carry. And, Bruce, just wanted to let you know we're thinking about you, my friend.
Hubbard getting up a little gimpy after that play. Good job, though, of getting himself squared up. Put that foot in the ground right there and get yourself going north and south. And that's what you like to see. Tackle there right around the ankles, and it looked like it's just going to be a little bit gimpy. So my guess is we'll see a little bit more of that Jaden Lewis. 18 carries tonight if he's done for 235 yards. 3 touchdowns tonight, and there's your replacement, Jaden Lewis, who has been terrific tonight as well.
Did you say 18 for 235?
18, 235.
Here's Lewis with the carry.
Not a bad night's work, huh?
Not at all. Well, he was basically if you look at his per carry average, he's some people will say a walking first down. He's more of a running first down, isn't he?
Well,
with that carry, with that average?
Came in tonight averaging about 8.5 yards a try, and he certainly has improved his situation tonight. That's his 4th 100-yard-plus game rushing this season. And a year ago, back in 22, as you mentioned earlier, 2,300 rushing yards, 25 touchdowns running the football.
Second down upcoming for Gahanna, 2nd and 11. Ward hands off. And Hubbard started to break free. That was a nice little shoulder fake there, but Will Ola, who's a running back himself, knew what was coming and grabbed him and dropped Hubbard. Watch the little fake here, but Ola didn't buy it.
Yeah, nice little move and good pursuit coming from those linebacker spots. Still time in this game, but you've got to make a stop.
New Albany had a chance earlier in this quarter when Gahanna was facing a 3rd and long situation, but Bruce Ward's team was able to convert. One of those talented receivers that Roy Hall Jr. has coached up. Jalen Scott with a big catch on that 3rd down play. Had movement on the right side of the line.
That was 3rd and 11. It's going to be 3rd and 16 now. Obvious passing down for Gahanna.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Chris Glass with the penalty. The look at the penalty sponsored by the United States Army. We were referencing Roy Hall Jr. a short time ago, and we were down on the field prior to the game, and Roy came walking over to say hello. I think Roy could still play for somebody.
I'm telling you what,
man.
He is a beast. He spends a lot of time still training and in the weight room, and I keep threatening that they're going to give him a 70 number and put him on the field.
Tell you what. 3rd down and long. Ward back to throw with a clean pocket. Fires over the middle, and the pass is incomplete at the feet of Jalen Scott.
Yeah, just no rhythm in the passing game tonight at all for the Gahanna Lincoln Lions. That ball nowhere near being completed or able to be completed, and Don't count these guys out.
They'll have to punt the football away, will the Lions. Max Haliba, who's done the kicking tonight. Good look at that young man, averaging 41 yards a kick. Good snap. Low kick that will bounce, and almost with no other option than to field the punt as Gahanna's defense, good job by the special teams on coverage, and New Albany with a long way to go and a short time to get there. 3:48 to go in the game. They trail Gahanna by the score of 20-7. It's Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
Toyota's four brothers have made a name for themselves on and off the road.
Tacoma has been the best-selling truck in its class for the past 18 years.
This is the legendary Toyota 4Runner.
With over 40 years of off-road experience, this SUV has seen it all and keeps coming back for more.
The powerfully efficient Sequoia delivers off-road adventures with style and comfort.
And Tundra is the biggest, most powerful, most technologically advanced truck Toyota has ever built.
Toyota's four brothers. Let's go places.
Hand off to Will Ola, who rumbles and stumbles out across the 25-yard line and picks up a Bowling Green State University first down. The line of scrimmage, the 15, and a good gain by Ola as he carries out to the 27-yard line, picks up a dozen. So again, New Albany, 3.5 to go in the game. Trying to move down the field quickly. Here's Nash back to throw with King in his face, and this pass is incomplete. Ashton Allen was the intended receiver.
Yeah, not much of an opportunity there. Immediate pressure, and Elijah King is a force. 6'6", 235, playing the defensive end position. We mentioned headed to Rutgers to play. Watch the top of your screen. You're going to see the pressure coming from the right. Boom, right there. Just not an opportunity to be able to connect.
2nd and 10 upcoming. He had 50 tackles last year, did Elijah King. 18.5, Jeff. 18.5 tackles for a loss. Some teams don't have that number.
That is significant. There is no question about it.
They'll hand it off. Owosu Anso has the long touchdown run. Breaks free for a moment, but brought down just across the 35-yard line. He was a moment away from breaking free on that one, as Gahanna's defense, led by Quan Rhodes McKee, coming in to make the stop.
Yeah, they're going to hustle to the line of scrimmage. Time is of the essence.
3 minutes left in this game. Inside, it's Ola to the 38-yard line. All of Gahanna's points came in the first half, and New Albany getting a touchdown here in the second half.
That'll give them a timeout for the change to be moved. Will Ola, again, carrying the football. He's kind of been the designated scorer for this football team throughout the season. 11 touchdowns coming in.
Back to throw Nash. Near side, and a leaping catch to the near side. Ryan Liddy with his first touch of the football tonight. A 6-foot senior, his 9th catch of the year. One of the things that Brian Finn talked about as you watch Nash set up in the pocket to throw the football, about his offensive line. Not as big as the one they had last year, maybe a little more technically sound, but he said the one thing they're not built to do is pass protect for 3 or 4 seconds. And I think we've seen some of that tonight, Jeff, where Gahanna's been able to get pressure.
Yeah, you're in that shotgun or under center sometimes, but mostly shotgun. You got about a 2-step drop and get rid of the football.
Inside here, Owosu Ansa near the midfield stride, but the clock continues to spin. 2.5 to go in the game.
Again, a great job on first down there, getting it to 2nd and short. Play action. Let's try and throw this ball deep, but again, the problem is, can you protect your quarterback long enough to be able to get the ball down the field?
Ball's at the 47, their own 47. But again, the clock continuing to roll. And they'll run it again to Owosu Ansa. Grabbed and thrown down at the 49-yard line. That was Quan Rhodes McKee again.
They're going to stop the clock here, and it looks like they're going to measure maybe for the first down. They're going to go ahead and give it to him. Yep, first down.
Bowling Green State University first down. 2:08 to go in the game. This series between these two has seen some wild affairs. Gahanna's won 6 of the 8 all-time meetings. Back in 2020, it was a 42-41 Gahanna win. 2 years before that, it was a 41-40 Gahanna win.
There's your spread.
Under 2 minutes to go in the game. Nash to throw near side, and Miles Jackson, the intended receiver. But there is a flag down. 20 seconds. evaporated before they snapped the football.
Yeah, they got to be ready when they got to know that
Pass
clock is going to start. There's the pass interference call going against the
15-yard
defense.
penalty. First down.
Call sponsored. The look at the penalty sponsored by the United States Army. Watch it again here.
Boy, this is coming right into your living room. Watch here. You're going to see the coverage. He's pushing, and that's what the official back to the left behind the play saw was the pushing by Jason Smith of the receiver out of bounds. They'll let them hand check each other for a little bit there, but if you gain an advantage by doing that, that's when they're going to throw the flag.
That moves the ball to the Gahanna 36 with 1:43 to go in the game. And again, they're going to run the football. Wide side, Owosu Ansa has the edge. 30, tripped up at the 25 and then shoved out of bounds, far side. As Quan Rhodes McKee prevented him from going any further than the 25-yard line, but it's another first down.
Well, they've got it cooking. Look at the blocking out front. And you can see the pressure there in the final hit being made, as you mentioned, by Quan Rhodes McKee coming over there to make the play.
96 seconds to go in the game. 20-7 is the Gahanna lead. New Albany methodically moving down the field, helped out by a pass interference penalty. Nash out of the shotgun to throw. Near side, incomplete. Ryan Liddy, who made that catch a short time ago, was the intended receiver on that pass play. Gahanna's offense, we had talked about it earlier. Each of the last 3 games, they had scored 49 points. And in every game after that season opener, they had scored 30 or more when they beat Mason 10-5. But tonight, the Gahanna offense has been pretty much stymied, other than those big plays from Dior Hubbard, the 2 long touchdown runs. Their offense really hasn't done a whole lot tonight. Their defense trying to save the night for them. Here's Nash to throw towards the end zone, and the pass is incomplete. So that stops the clock now with 1:26 left and brings up a third down for the Eagles.
Well, you can see the cornerback Jason Smith looking gassed back there. You know, we go 3.5 quarters and nobody throws the football. Now all of a sudden I got to do all this work back here in the secondary. What the heck is going on? Didn't sign up for this.
Last week, New Albany beat Grove City 25-24. Their OCC Ohio Division opener. They're going to hand the football off. Owosu Ansa is wrapped up as he got to the
They got to get a timeout right now. They got to get a timeout.
Eddie Jennings, Jeff, was in on the stop, and there is a penalty flag down. And again, this look at the penalty sponsored by the United States Army.
There are 2 fouls on them to play, one by each team. Holding, offense number 20, personal foul, face mask. Defense number 3, those penalties offset. Replay third down.
So we will do it all over again.
Got to get to the line of scrimmage here. That clock will start as soon as they get the ball set. There's the call there with the face mask. Good call. Not a terrible face mask, but they had a hand around the cage.
Ball's at the 24-yard line.
Let's see. I guess the clock doesn't start there after the penalty, so
New Albany still has their full complement of timeouts.
1:20.
See what the mindset of Brian Finn and this New Albany offense are right now. Nash wants Jackson to go in motion. Will hand the football off. Owosu Ansa through a hole to the 21-yard line.
Now you have to take your timeout. There's no question.
And it has been taken with 1:09 left to play.
Timeout, New Albany.
Uh-oh.
Their first of the half.
We have reached the highlight of every broadcast. 1:09 to go in this one. Time to look at Logan's Heroes.
You can see people in the stands standing up in recognition of this great moment. But recognizing the top 5 teams, at least in my opinion, in the district after 6 weeks in the season, they're all undefeated. Bradley, Pickerington North, Gahanna Lincoln, they've proven it a little bit tonight. Bishop Watterson and Canal Winchester, and there's some really good games that are going on out there. I like Bishop Watterson a lot, and I think that Hilliard Bradley might be the real deal. They got a pretty good little quarterback over there.
Well, we'll see him next week.
Absolutely. You'll see him.
Braden Fleehardy, we'll get a look at him next week.
Absolutely. I will not be on your team next week.
That's right. Jay Richardson will step in next week. Do they become Jay's heroes next week, or is it still Logan's heroes?
Jay can't touch it.
Oh, he can't touch it?
No. That's like the private little silver box there. You can't touch that.
All right.
I will be serving as the master of ceremonies for the induction of the Ohio State Athletics Hall of Fame. I've been doing it for the last 20 years or so. It's always a fun night.
Not a better choice to do that than my friend Jeff Logan. New Albany with the football. Braylon Nash rolling to throw. Goes back to the far side towards the goal line, and the pass is knocked away. Great read defensively over there for Gahanna that time as they tried to set up that side of the pass, or that side of the field wide open. That was a great job defensively. That was Daniel Opoku. Watch him reverse and get back to that in a hurry.
Yeah, he was beat, and then all of a sudden he was able to recover. And that's a ball that you got to get thrown out there a little bit quicker. You got to get rid of that football. There was a kind of a drag pattern going across misdirection, but once you have that receiver, put too much air under the ball that time and allowed the defensive back to recover.
And that was 4th down, and that will seal the deal. Gahanna's offense will come back onto the field. Gahanna with the football, and their defense, as we had talked about with the offense, getting a couple of big plays in this game tonight, but really not being the dominating group that they have been this season.
Going to stay in bounds here and make sure you do not, or not.
Sure enough, out of bounds goes, I think, Jeff.
They're winding the clock.
The individual who if we pick anybody else, we might get run out of here. The player of the game, Dior Hubbard tonight. And the first half hat trick, touchdowns. The numbers just amazing.
Yeah, and this was the first time they touched the ball. Gahanna, first play of the game for the offense. He takes it 80 yards for the score. This was the first of 3. Here's number 2, the 4-yard touchdown run. And this one where he just had some poor tackling, but a guy that didn't give up on the play, and Dior Hubbard is able to take it 65 yards. 3 home run touchdowns tonight for Dior Hubbard, and he will be the player of the game.
Under a minute to go. Hubbard stopped there, and Brian Finn's going to use
New Albany
a timeout with 51 seconds left. That's one of the things when you look back at this season. We'll talk more about it in a moment. We have had the opportunity to see some very talented players this year throughout Central Ohio. We'd like to thank Kroger Great Lakes Distribution Center. Tonight's game is streaming live on the ABC6 YouTube channel, as well as the ABC6 News app and on the CWColumbus.com. And again, thanks to Kroger Great Lakes Distribution Center. Everyone can see Logan's hero. Here are Jeff's picks as we give you a chance to watch this game, well, really just about anywhere. At the half, the New Albany High School Marching Band was on the field. This sneak peek is sponsored by Music Go Round Marching Band Sound. You can check out any of their locations, 2630 Bethel Road and in Gahanna, inside the Stone Ridge Plaza. Very talented group of performers, the New Albany High School Marching Band.
You know, one of the interesting things in the computer rankings, Division I, Region 3, Bradley is 1, Pick North is 2, and Gahanna Lincoln is 3.
Here's Hubbard out across the 40 where he is brought down. And we have on our Toyota Friday Night Rivals this year, right from week number 1, we saw some impressive performances. And it has continued throughout the season. Dior Hubbard, Pickerington North team with Preston Bowman at wide out and Angelo McCullum on that defensive line. They have a boatload of talent. We saw Dylan Armentrout of Bloom Carroll last week.
Really good
outstanding
football
running
players.
back. Yeah, we've been blessed to see a lot of talented people play football this year.
You know, rest of the way after this season, or after this game is over, New Albany's got Westland, Pick North, and Westerville Central. And I'll tell you what, it does not get easy for Bruce Ward with Westerville Central. And then the last 2 weeks, Grove City, who is dangerous, and Pickerington North, which might be the game of the state of Ohio with Pickerington North and Gahanna.
As the clock winds down, Gahanna will go to 7-0. The Golden Lions on the road tonight with a victory over New Albany on homecoming here at New Albany. Bruce Ward's team 7-0, but as I'm sure he will tell you, still some work to do for these Lions to get where they want to be. As tonight they, I think, workmanlike. Fair description of the way they won this game tonight. New Albany made them work for it, no question about it. I think a lot of people thought when this game started tonight, this thing was over before they even teed the ball up.
Absolutely. Now go back to the thing that I talked about in the first half, Marty, when I said this is either a really good thing for this football team to start like they did fast, or it's a really bad thing. And I think they got a little bit unfocused, if you will, and not staying in the moment of what they needed to accomplish.
Well, Jeff, think about it. Their last 3 games, they have rolled over people to the tune of 112-7 in the first half. They led 20-0 at the half here.
Thought it was going to happen again.
Exactly. Gahanna wins it tonight. They roll past New Albany by the final of 20-7. That's tonight's Toyota Friday Night Rivals final score.
With over 50 million Toyota Corollas sold, it seems like we built one for everybody. And now we have. We built this one to be so dependable that it's often passed down within the family. We built this one to get 50 mpg and available all-wheel drive. This one for its handling and easy parking. This SUV for your next big adventure. And we built this one just for the fun of it. Introducing the 300 horsepower GR Corolla. Now there is a Corolla for everybody. Toyota. Let's go places.
Gahanna with the win tonight, knocking off New Albany by the final of 20-7 here at Veterans Field. At New Albany High School, Marty Bannister, Jeff Logan, Kellyanne Stitz back with you here tonight. And New Albany with the victory. Coming up in just moments, the presentation of the Orb, the Friday Night Rivals trophy, going to Gahanna. And we have seen some exciting celebrations in our postgame, so we're looking forward to that. I thought it was impressive last week, Jay Richardson, in amongst about 40 players having to hold the orb way above him.
They had to reach, didn't they?
They did.
Unlike Kelly. And she's not as long as Jay Richardson, but I guarantee you she'll go in there with that hot little jacket she's got on tonight. And let's go on down to Kelly Stitz. What do you got, girl?
Hey, thanks, guys. I got Coach Ward and the team, and Coach, New Albany with some momentum in the second half, but your defense able to hold them off. I'm sure some things you guys want to work on, but how proud are you of your guys for pulling off their win and remaining undefeated on the season?
Well, I always say it's hard to win in the state of Ohio on Friday night, so I'm proud of our team for fighting through and getting the win. But obviously we got some things to clean up.
Your Hubbard, a hat trick in the first half. Here's our Rivals player of the game. Talk about his effort, but the guys up front to allow him to do that as well.
Oh, yeah. He's a special back, and we got guys up front blocking the way for him. And obviously it takes a team effort to be able to have 3 touchdowns and 200-something yards rushing. So great game out of those guys.
But you guys are victors in this rivalry game, so we present you what we call the Orb, our trophy for Friday Night Rivals. Congratulations. Where are you going to put this one?
Wherever they want.
Congratulations, guys.
The celebration for Gahanna tonight as they knock off New Albany in our Friday Night Rivals matchup by the final of 20-7. Jeff Logan, we look at the final math in tonight's game. And again, Gahanna, almost 400 yards of total offense. You would say that they were dominant in that category, but they just couldn't put New Albany away in this one tonight.
Yeah, look what New Albany did, though, in terms of rushing the football in tonight's game. Passing yards almost even there. And I think Bruce Ward, as he was talking about, we got things to work on. That passing game and just the whole concept of what they're trying to do to become more balanced is something that they are absolutely going to need to work on. So good luck next week in your game.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. We will miss you,
We'll
certainly.
have some fun.
We will miss you next week, but we have a good one for you next week as Olentangy Liberty travels to take on Hilliard Bradley. The final again here tonight, Gahanna knocks off New Albany by the count of 20-7. That's a wrap on this edition of Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College. Of course, we're back with you next Friday night for week number 8, as we'll be with you from Hilliard Bradley for the matchup between the Jaguars and the Patriots of Olentangy Liberty. On behalf of our entire crew, Jeff Logan, Kellyanne Stitz, our producer Dean Marini, and our statistician Jason Van Hoos, this is Marty Bannister saying once again, congratulations to the Gahanna Lincoln Lions, ranked number 4 in the state. They are now 7-0 as they knock off New Albany by the final of 20-7. Good night, everyone, from New Albany High School.